Hey everybody, guess what? We are back. This is African Frame Podcast. Thank you everybody that has been subscribing, liking, and sharing our videos. We truly appreciate it. Thank you for commenting as well. Please hit the notification bell icon so that you can get notified for any other videos that Rob and I might release in the future. If you're new, what is African Frame? African Frame basically is a podcast where Rob and I just talk about our favorite movies. We either do like a whole film and then we dissect it and we talk about like the cast trivia, break down some scenes, behind the scenes stuff, the directors, the cast and stuff like that. Or we do like a monthly preview of like the movies that are going to be coming out, and then we give our thoughts on the box office we give box office predictions, or we basically just look at what's going to be happening in the theater space. So yeah, that's what African Frame is about. But today we're going to be continuing our City of God review. This is part 2. Who is Rob? Rob is a screenwriter, a book author, and a film director. So do check out his books. I'll leave a link in the description below. He has 4 books out. One of them being Jin's Wall. I believe the other one is what's the other one again, Rob? I keep forgetting it, man.
2 of them are Bludgeon Ball. The other one is Heist.
Heist. Yes. No, Bludgeon Ball, I don't think I'd ever forget it. I don't think I'd ever forget it. But yeah, guys, truly thank you. We've seen the numbers. Frankenstein is doing very well. Also The Mummy is doing very well. So thank you so much. We hope you like the other films that we have going forward. So yeah, where were we last time? I just don't remember where we were.
We were about 54 minutes into the storyline. We had just basically dealt with Zay confronting Carrot. We had cut to Benny. Tiago points. Basically, it was a brilliant in the party cutscene where Carrot talks to Tiago talking. Yes, Lil Zay talking to each other, and basically this man gets his girlfriend stolen from him.
Oh yes, I remember. And I think we're talking about the kids, the rascals. What are they called? Like the delinquents.
Yeah, the little let's see what their names now. I think it's Little Rascals. I'm not sure. I'll tell you now.
Because basically it was Lil Zay had an issue with those kids because they were basically just uncontrollable, man. They would steal food at the grocery store and stuff like that, and they're just unruly.
Yes, it was causing problems, and yeah, and it led to a confrontation, one that Lil Zay has wanted for a while, but now he has a reason to confront him. Remember, the only reason Carrot's alive is because of
Benny.
Benny, there we go. Everyone's favorite person, yeah. So anyway, then we moved. So it was a great scene that set up the exposition. It set up simple, straightforward lines of what's happening. It was a scene where basically it would have been in another movie. It would have been done by talking. Like, see the way me and you are talking right now. Like, yeah. So Steven has a problem with so and so, and this is why it's so and so. That's what would have happened. But they were like, no, let's make it a party. Let's do a 2-way entrance, one of the 2 split screen of the cameras coming in, us seeing Zay, us seeing Carrot. And then we actually get, if I remember correctly, I think it's this one where we get to see a little sample of Knockout Ned. Like, you don't really pay attention that it's Knockout Ned, but you see him here, if I remember correctly. I'm not sure if it's this part.
Is this is Benny's farewell?
No, this is not Benny's farewell. You see Knockout Ned once before Benny's farewell. I think.
Really?
Yeah. There's a scene where I hope I'm not jumping ahead, but basically Lil Zay gets bumped by Knockout Ned, and yeah, Lil Zay makes a big deal out of it.
Yes, you're right. You're right.
But you don't know that it's Knockout Ned at the time.
Yes. I mean, I was already familiar with the film, but I was like, oh. But I think, yeah, they just bump into each other, but then it's not a big deal. I think Knockout Ned just apologizes, and then that's it.
No, Zay hits him. Don't you remember?
Oh, really?
Yeah, Zay hits him. Like, makes a big deal out of it. Like, starts like threatening him, whips out a gun and points it at him, chases him away, basically.
Whoa. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't remember that.
Yeah. Will we get in trouble if I show it to you?
No, you can show it, man. You can show it. But I think I do remember. No, I actually do remember the scene you're talking about.
Yeah.
Benny was there, wasn't he?
Yes, Benny was there, but clearly Benny didn't know who Knockout Ned was at that. No one knew who Knockout Ned was until later on. But yeah,
Yeah,
he was there. I can't remember if it was the first carrot confrontation, but yes, it was our first sample of.
No, it was definitely the first, because the second is the whole strip down naked.
Yeah, that's the big one. It's actually not even the turning point, but it's a big deal, yes. But yeah, anyway, 58 minutes in, right? From when we first play, we're near the halfway point. So things will likely turn, but the building tension can be seen without that knowledge. We also get to the little runs, that's what they're called. Now, we've been talking about little runs, now we get to see them. And this part where you talked about the grocery store getting, no, not grocery store, the cafe getting attacked, and they steal that rotisserie chicken.
Yes.
So now it becomes, now we're seeing the rats destroy the store, and they destroy the store, like causing damage for no reason. They're not even just stealing anymore. So the store owner approaches Lil Zay. We also get the narrator explaining that with the wiping out of Lil Zay's enemies, the city has ironically become a safer place, reducing the number of holdups and the need for cops. It's all exposed.
Oh, the more Lil Zay grew, right? That's what you say.
Yes, exactly. Then we see Lil Zay getting his after the store owner approaches. We see Zay getting his gun and his gang marching off. We also get multiple close-up of a kid with an afro. And we just know these shots are not wasted, so you have to wonder what's about to happen. We also find the runts in the corner eating their stolen chicken. And we get a cutting back and forth. There's no music. In fact, there's only the sound of the city and the kids boasting as the storm that is Lil Zay approaches. You know what I mean? Like this tension. Oh my God, he's coming! Like, there's none of that music.
No, he was pissed off, eh?
Oh yeah, but also it's like Homelander nowadays, right? When Homelander approaches, you know death is coming. You know what I mean? I'm assuming the boys.
Yeah, I'm still on season 2 though, but I do know Homelander and I've seen what he can do.
Yeah.
So
when you're like, oh no, Homelander is coming, you know death is coming. Do you know what I mean? So it's that kind of feel when you get Lil Zay. It's a difficult thing to achieve, but they've nailed it. Then we get a super short head of overhead, like a top-down view, as Zay in a little space, and the kids get away, and some of the kids are caught. Two of the kids are shot in the foot, and we get focus. We get focus on one of the kids, which is what Steak and Potato. What is his name again? Steak and.
I forgot, man.
I think it's Steak and Fries, and he's given a gun.
Yeah.
And then the kid shoots the older of the two kids, and you kind of see it blurred out, so you don't get to really see it. And then the crowd, the gang cheers Steak and Fries on. The scene ends with the other kid watching the body of the one kid, while they chase the other kid after shooting him in the foot. And then you kind of get the sense that the tone around Lil Zay has changed. People are noticing
100%. Like that movie, not necessarily the movie. I think here it felt so real, man. Like, yes, we have been seeing people die so far, like especially in the first act with the trio dying, being shot and whatever, but not necessarily the two of the three.
Yeah.
But here, with Lil Zay's performance and the older Lil Zay, not the young one. Yeah, no, it feels, that's when I felt like, this feels like Yizo one.
Oh yeah.
It's tense.
And it's bolder than Yizo almost. But definitely Yizo vibes, absolutely. People are noticing the change in the atmosphere around their town, and there's a change in the tone towards him, and he's welcomed. Meanwhile, Benny is fully with Angelica now, leaving things at an all-time high with Lil Zay and Benny. This is their midpoint high. Like, things could not be better if you tried. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
This could be better if you grew some wings and started flying. Do you know what I mean? Like, you became an adventure. That's the only way this could be better. So yeah, this is the absolute. The story has belonged to them since the change up, and now in their own world, hitting the 1 hour mark perfectly.
The story has changed to who? To Benny and Lil Zay.
Yeah, it's been about them. We've seen Rocket like twice.
Yeah. It's like the main characters at this point.
Yeah, they're the main for this little section. Absolutely. And Rocket is basically a side character in his own story.
Yeah. Actually, and I think we mentioned this even in part 1, that for the majority of the first part, the trio were the main characters.
Oh yeah. Yeah, right? It's their short story, yes.
Yes. And then after that, then Rocket like slightly becomes the main character because we see him like growing a bit, and you know, is reintroducing us to like the older versions of everybody, and Angelique and him going to find weed, and the story of how someone became a drug lord and all of that. And
definitely. Their rise, it's the same story, it's the same pattern. It's the exact same pattern, and it's brilliant because just like that one, they also had a midpoint high with the successful robbery. Things couldn't be higher. You know what I mean?
A successful robbery?
When they robbed the hotel successfully. They don't know what happened afterwards, obviously. But
yes.
It was a high for them. Anyway, it's 1 minute and 1 hour and 1 minute in, 2 minutes in.
Wait, sorry, you were talking about the trio when you're talking about the hotel, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
It's Rocket alone on the beach. His perfect girl is gone. And it kind of ends with him broken. Do you know what I mean? Like, their victory is his loss.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But here's the thing, though, you know, and I don't know if you've ever gone through this. Like when I was a kid and I had a crush on a particular girl, and I get to find out who the girl is actually dating, and I'm like, oh, it's that guy. Like the fact that I know that the guy is a good guy, and I'm cool with him. It's like, no, it's fine. Like if she's dating that guy, then it's fine. You know, obviously there will be a bit of jealousy, but at the same time, I'm like, that guy is a cool dude, man. Like I understand why she would date that guy. Like that guy is awesome. Like him and I used to talk about Dragon Ball Z every time we meet up. You know what I mean? Like it's like with Benny as well. Benny is a cool guy.
I mean, pardon? Yeah, I'm not saying, but Benny's still a drug dealer. Do you know what I mean? Like, no, but
I get you. I get you. Even if he's a drug dealer, you're like, but he's still cool. Like you don't feel scared around. You don't feel like he's gonna kill him.
Fair enough.
If that makes sense, yeah. And you feel like he would protect you if Lil Zay was around.
Oh, definitely. No, fair enough. Good point. 100%. No, I hear what you're saying. He is the good guy, especially in the city of God. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
But yeah, anyways,
like if he was in charge instead of Lil Zay, a lot of people would have felt a lot safer. If that makes sense.
People would have taken advantage of the situation, which is exactly what happens later on. Zay makes that exact comment.
Exactly. Yeah. No. They probably would have killed him like within a year or something.
Oh yeah. Someone would have considered him soft, and that's the end of that. But with her, it's like a soft guy and a hard guy next to each other. What's it? There's that joke. There's that line.
Yeah, that's why they.
There's that line. You've got a choice. You can either take what's his name, Martin Luther King, or you can get Malcolm X. Decide.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I think that's why they sort of like they needed each other, whether they knew it or not.
Oh yeah.
Or like a yin yang type of thing.
Yes, they accidentally created a yin yang. Whereas Lil Zay isn't ruling over an empty city. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And no one takes advantage of Benny. That kind of. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. And speaking of, them with their perfect group, we are left with the imperfect Rocket, who is alone at the beach. His girl gone. He's alone. And that's not the first L he takes, as we see the story kind of turn back to him. We see him working at the supermarket, and then that's when the little runts show up, and they start stealing stuff and then kind of high five him. And because of that, they get fired. He gets fired because they think they're friends with this gangster element that he's trying to avoid. He's trying to avoid these people. And they're like, yo, what's up, bro? Anyway, we're stealing. And they're like, oh, I don't know why I trusted you, rats. And he's like, but I'm not with them. Nope, doesn't matter.
Yeah, the thing is, they don't have an issue with him because he gave them weed when he was kissing Angelique. Remember when he was he kissed her. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know did he think that he was gonna have sex at the beach? Because if you think about it, he made it seem like they cock blocked him. So I'm thinking,
hey,
everything you're gonna have sex with Angelique at the beach.
Everything is an opportunity when you're a kid. You're like, you never know what could happen. Never know.
But anyway.
Yeah, no, I feel you.
So, yeah.
See, that's old Kutso talking. Young Kutso would have been like, you never know.
Oh, man.
Anyway, yeah.
I just want to say that, so these kids are stealing in front of Rocket, but it was like everybody could see what they were doing. It's not like it was just Rocket and them and he let them go. No. It was just a situation where he was doing something and then they saw him and then he saw them and then they did what they did.
Yeah.
And that happens. Sometimes, especially when you grew up in the township, there's no way you don't know someone from the township, though. Even if you guys are not friends. Like, Reggie, what are you doing here? Like, Reggie is stealing, and they're like, hey, man, Reggie, and then...
Yeah, Reggie. You know who steals, who doesn't. Everyone knows everyone, dog. That's why you have a different neighborhood to steal. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like, why is it my fault? Why am I being blamed?
Ironically, it's the same reason that cop was like, I'm not a corrupt cop. Anyway, let's murder these rats. There's a clear line.
Yeah.
Ironically, do you know what this reminds me of? Arcane.
Yeah.
Have you watched
I haven't watched Arcane yet.
But basically, Arcane, there's the people above and the people below.
Right.
With the metaphor of Arcane, the people above are literally above. Do you know what I mean?
Okay.
Oh, what's that Bruce Willis movie? Not Die Hard, man. Fifth Element, where the rich people are up in the clouds and the poor people are on the floor. Same principle. It's obviously vertical slice, and because of that whole imbalance, these guys are like, you're all the same. They might as well have had Rocket's face as they were stealing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which is, and it's so funny because it doesn't make a big deal out of it. It just lets you know it's there. And it kind of says that the people who live there are so used to it that they don't even know to make a big deal out of it. Does that make sense? Like that's
it makes sense.
Yeah.
And it doesn't even blame the kids. It's like,
Yeah. He's not even, what's the point? The
only thing he was concerned about was his bonus. That's it. Like, he just wanted money so that he can buy a camera. That's it.
Anyway, his life sucks while the lives of everyone who isn't following the law is great. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Because I think he even asked his boss, like, am I gonna get like a severance of sorts?
Yeah.
I don't know how to explain this.
Basically, yeah. And he was like, fuck
and
off.
they're like, why? Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
Get the hell out of here. Yes.
It was crazy.
Yeah.
And because he lives in a different class structure, he can't even complain to anyone. Who's going to complain to? The system.
Yeah, exactly.
So
this is like living in Gotham, dog. Like, if you're not Bruce Wayne, you're screwed.
Exactly. Well, yeah. Anyway, his life sucks. Everyone who's a criminal is living their best life. So he gets frustrated. So he picks up that gun, and he goes on the bus because he's gonna start becoming a criminal too. He's sick of it. He wants to be, and what does he call them? A hood. He wants to become a hood. I always thought that was funny. Like, just
yeah.
I mean,
I guess it's like
hood.
I guess it means hoodlum.
I would assume so. Yes, I'm sure that's exactly what it means. But just
yeah,
we all got our own slangs in different cultures. Anyway.
Yeah, definitely. And I'm sure for it also to travel internationally, maybe they needed another word.
Something
I
not
guess.
specific, maybe, but actually, Tolkien once said, if you want to reach everyone, né, what you actually have to do is be specific. Don't be non-specific. The more vague you are, the less people you can reach.
Ah, that's true. That's true.
So, ironically, even though you're right, technically being vague would be a good tool, it's actually a bad one. That's crazy,
I
right?
hear you.
Writing, but that's writing for you.
I get you. But I think also what makes this one work for a second, even though it throws you off, is he uses the word hood very early on.
Oh, yes.
Like early on in the movie, he uses the word hood. So yeah.
It's always a bad thing. Have you noticed? He never used it as a good word. Like,
Yes.
for Zay, it would be a badge of honor.
Yeah.
But for him, it's a slur.
Yeah.
Which is so funny because his brother was a hood. A legendary hood.
Yeah.
For him, it's a slur. That's something to think about. But anyway.
And it's so weird because when he was young and he was swimming and his friend was like, what do you want to do? What do you want to be when you grow up? This is not what he wanted to be.
Oh, yeah.
At all.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
he was afraid of dying.
Yeah, he was happy to be alive at one point. But now he's starting to feel the long-term effects of, of just being okay. And he doesn't like it. So he wants
So it's like, look, I've tried the
Right.
normal route, being a good guy, doing the right thing, but it's clearly not working. So.
Oh, yeah. It's very Jedi.
But what I don't understand is why didn't he just go back and become and sell fish? Is it fish?
Oh, with his dad, yeah. It was fish.
Yeah.
Dad.
Why didn't he just continue with his dad's business?
He was still in high school at that point, so I'm sure they didn't want him there. I'm sure because I have a feeling because we see from the brother that they don't want the brother. He doesn't want him to be doing what the dad is doing, and doesn't want him to be doing what he's doing. So I think the idea is because remember I think he calls himself an academic, or the family calls him an academic of the group, or the brother calls him an academic of the group. So I have a feeling in my own headcanon, the family's like, you're an academic, just focus on your studies. You know what I mean? Like a Chinese family or a stereotype of a Japanese family. You know what I mean? Like you just that's what you're good at, and that's all we want to see from you.
Right.
That's what I would assume. That's what's happening. The only difference is
no, it makes sense.
Yeah. The only problem is I'm assuming his family is very busy. Like, you know what I mean? Like the fish job, 24-hour thing, which is why he's free to do so many things. Like if you actually how much free time he has.
But that was life back in the day. If you remember when we were growing up, dog, even though we'd come back from school at around 2, 3 or so, 3 p.m., 2 p.m. I don't know if you're watching from any other country, please let us know what time you would come back from school. But from 2 or 3 until 5, those are like short hours. That felt long. Like you could do so many things. You could watch cartoons. You could watch like Disney's Cartoon Cafe, watch Digimon, Pokemon, watch Dragon Ball, still go outside, play with people, like play a whole soccer match.
Oh, yeah.
Then go back home. And go back home and still do your homework. So the amount of free time you had, bro, was crazy.
That is very true, actually. That's a fucking great point. Nah, that's a good point, man. Anyway, transitioning back to the storyline. He's on the bus with the gun. He wants to rob the bus driver collector. But then the bus driver collector recognizes him immediately and shuts the plans down. They have a talk and he tries to motivate them to study. When the camera freezes, that's when the camera freezes, and that's when we're reminded of what this movie is. And we discover who this guy is. His name is not Ned, and his story will continue. And you're like, oh, shit. Do you know what I mean? You know what that means. So, yeah. It's either it means he's going to die, he's going to go to jail, or something else is going to happen. Undeterred, they still plan on robbing. So they go to a bakery, and they end up with the the counter girl's number. This is not working out for them, or rather, they're ironically doing better with people now as robbers than normal. Like they're meeting, they're doing great as criminals.
This is basically the universe telling them, guys, this is not for you. Don't even try it.
Don't
Like,
even bother, dog.
don't even bother. You guys are horrible.
Ah, dude, this is God stepping up and saying stop. Yeah, definitely.
This is basically just comedy at its best without being too slapstick. It's
Yes.
just situational comedy
Yes. It doesn't
where the
devolve.
characters are not trying to be funny. Like they're serious, but it's a funny
Exactly.
moment. Yeah.
And then after all of that, they're presented with the perfect crime opportunity. An outsider is asking for directions. They get in the car with him, and the car drives into the night. The narrator gives the impression that things are about to go down. Then cut to
Before we get there, I just want to say, imagine trying to rob someone at the bus station. I think he's the driver, right?
yeah,
It's the bus driver.
money collector. Yeah,
He's a money collector. It's not the bus driver.
It's not the bus driver.
And this guy's like, no, man, I know you guys, man. You guys are from City of God, right? No, actually, one of you can just come in for free. How would you rob this guy? Like, he just gave you a free pass. Why would you rob this guy?
Exactly.
Already, though, forget it. Like, your plan is not gonna work.
And then you want to rob the girl at the counter, and then she's like starts hitting on you.
Like, you're cute. You're like,
Yeah.
Son,
How?
yeah.
Now, of
But
course,
anyway.
Zay doesn't give a shit. You could be his grandmother, and he'd put a gun to your head. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, that's true. But I don't think Zay would have done that to his grandma. Like, I think for the people that he really cares about, he's a bit, I guess he gives them leeway to treat him anyhow, like Benny, you know.
I don't know, man. I feel like Benny. Don't get me wrong. They went out of their way to make Benny the exception. You know what I mean? Like as far as we can tell, Zay doesn't even have a grandmother. Like
I don't think he has a family, bro.
Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Like
I think he's an orphan.
That's basic impression you get is that this man literally only has one person, and that's Benny.
Yeah.
And I mean, he did listen to Carrot's brother, to be fair. He's a Shaggy. He did listen to him, but that's because he idolized him as a criminal. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You mean Benny's brother? Yeah.
Lil Zay, as a child, has always respected power. There's actually a fascinating YouTube video. I recommend it. It actually goes the psychopathy of Lil Zay, basically. It's basically a TV show about villains and like how Lil Zay probably has like a proper mental condition, basically, that prevents him from like doing X, Y, Z, and which is why he relies so much on Benny to like balance it out. You know what I mean? To deal with the combination of mental issues that are hitting him at the same time.
Yeah, look, Benny is definitely a character study. Like, we have to be honest. No, sorry, Lil Zay. Lil Zay is definitely a character study.
I was gonna say, yeah.
That's someone that you would actually study in school. Yeah. Because he's such a complex character. Similar to the Joker.
Well, yeah, but I think with Zay, I think the Zay might be better than the Joker because we get to see what turns him on and turns him off. You know what I mean? Not sexually, but I mean like psychologically. What he wants and why he's probably been powerless for a long time and now it's an obsession for him. You know what I mean?
Right.
And whereas getting along seems to be Rocket's obsession in a way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So what could you almost say? Like, I don't.
You mean Rocket or Benny?
Rocket, not Benny, but
getting along.
Because I don't think. I think Zay's opposite is not Benny. Zay's opposite is Rocket. Because what's his face isn't hunting power. He's not. He just wants his own little thing. Zay
he just wants to be okay in life. That's it.
Whereas Thingamajiggy is absolutely ambitious. He wants all the power.
He's greedy.
Exactly. Thingamajiggy just wants a better camera.
Yeah.
So do you see? They are opposites, but not Benny. Benny has ambitions. They're just different emotionally. Benny will watch you die with a smile on your face.
Okay, so Benny and Lil Zay are like two sides of the same coin. Whereas Rocket is a completely different thing.
Different currency almost, yes.
Yeah, no, I get you. Yeah.
So you get me, you feel me? Yeah.
No, I feel you. I feel you, definitely.
Because Rocket doesn't have the boldness to talk to someone else's girl and pick him up like that. Rocket
Yeah.
just happened to use the one thing he's good at to attract that girl. But Benny used himself to attract that girl. Do you know what I mean? And there's the difference. That makes both Benny and Benny and Zay, the combination ideally fundamentally different to Rocket. Like he's looking across the end of the thing to his polar opposite and seeing it. Yeah. And when
So how would Rocket get the girl, you said?
Just by being his own skillful self, making the best of his.
And then Benny?
And then Benny just uses. He is the gift. You know what I mean? Whereas Zay's camera work is the gift, Benny is the gift.
No, I get it, because with Benny, he just has the riz already. Like, he doesn't have to do much.
Exactly.
Yeah. All right. Fair enough.
You feel that? Okay. Cool. Anyway, yeah. Okay. Anyway, 7 minutes in, we cut to an area. We see police searching in the tall grass, and they find a woman's body. They are wondering if there's a connection. Oh,
you know what?
You wonder if there's some kind of
before
connection.
You get there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Here's the thing. Because they're still selling us this thing of Rocket actually doing something bad.
Yes.
So when they jump from scene to scene, it seems like Rocket actually did something.
Yeah.
And then we get the impression that no, he didn't do anything. They're actually in the car, and they are actually witnessing someone who's dead. Because when you see it the first time, you think, oh, this is probably like hours later, and Rocket actually like killed that guy, and then he threw him into the bushes or whatever.
Because remember montage theory? Montage theory says two images together presents a third idea. Do you know what I mean? That's what's going on. So we're like, pa, and it turns out the pa is not actually connected. So
yes,
kind of leaves us like, yeah, that's basically how I see it. Yeah.
Which is still part of the situational comedy that we're talking about, because you're relieved that Rocket didn't do anything. And now you're interested in whether he's still going to do something. Because I think they did this like twice or 3 times.
Because you don't
on this.
Yeah, exactly. And then you see their car driving past, and you're like, oh, okay, never mind then. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so they end up smoking pot with the guy, and Rocket, being an idiot, burns up the paper with the phone number on it.
Yeah, dude.
We cut back to the cops, and it's a dead black woman that's been bludgeoned to death with a crying baby that was unharmed. The cops say the murderer was likely from City of God. We cut to Benny doing coke when we see Lil Zay come barging in. In a scene before, he'd fallen off his bike, and we see that now we see him with a cast.
You know, one thing I like about this movie, man, is even though Lil Zay is scary as hell, like he is probably the scariest character in this entire film.
Yeah.
Dude, like his comedy moment, it's kind of like anime. Though. Sometimes I feel like I'm watching anime. You know, like in anime, they're like ridiculous, goofy scenes that the villain would do. Like, flip, this is the guy that's beating all these main characters. Because when he fell off his bike, if Lil Zay was not a murderer, you would have laughed at him, dog.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? And I like the fact that everything comes in full circle. Like, going back to what Alfred Hitchcock once said, that if you show a specific scene or you show something in a specific scene, it has to have a purpose. So even though that scene was just about Rocket saying that he couldn't go to certain areas because Lil Zay was there, not that he couldn't go, he just didn't prefer going there, rather go to Carrot. They show Lil Zay actually riding a bike and getting hurt. And then later on, you see him with the casket, they're like, oh, flip, yes, because he got hurt riding the motorcycle.
It's a small detail that lets you know that the world is kind of carrying on without you. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I think it's a little detail that really adds to the world is carrying on without you. Not every problem. Like, for example, I think it was the Brad Pitt movie, World War Z. Like, they go to Israel, right? I don't know if you've seen World War Z.
Yes, I have.
They fly to Israel, right? And at first, Israel is safe from zombies. Then Brad Pitt shows up, and now the zombies get in, and it's like, oh, do you know what I mean? That basically means this world stood still until Brad showed up, and the action started. which is crazy.
Yeah.
Whereas this kind of these little things, because we forget that little things matter. They make things feel more alive. Do you know what I mean? I love
this goes back to our Princess Mononoke discussion where I was telling you, like, Ashitaka just happened to be involved in something hectic. This had nothing to do with. Yes, he's the main character, but he was not the center of attention. Like, this had nothing to do with him, dog. You know what I mean? So I like movies like that where the main character, it's like you're the one, the child of prophets. No, dude, like you just happen to be at a specific point.
I would say the total things he did was he saved both girls. That was literally all he did.
Yeah.
He saved the mayor, that woman, and he saved the Monoke. That was all he did.
Yes.
Everything else would have happened anyway.
Exactly.
Everything else would have happened anyway.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. Just like this movie here, the only thing that Rocket did was just make Lil Zay famous. Like that's it. Like
the photo of the gun.
Yeah.
That was the big difference.
We'll get there, but that's basically what he did. Like everything else happens around him. But the only important thing that he does is that he takes photos of Lil Zay. That's it, dog.
He was the right guy at the right time for that moment. And we kind of get an explanation of how everything got there.
Exactly. Yeah. But anyway.
Yeah, anyway. Crazy. So Zay comes running in. He's pissed off and he's there for Blackie. Because it turns out that Blackie killed the woman. And for those who have forgotten in the first thing, Blackie was the guy that the house we went into where they did the breakdown of the house. Carrot's house. Carrot's drug house.
Yeah.
So that's who that was. That was an initial drug dealer. Anyway, it turns out the person killed was Blackie's girlfriend. And of course, we've already established with the shooting of the little runts that Zay has a code that he follows when it comes to killing. But Benny stops Blackie from dying and kicks him out. Benny and Zay have friction for the first time as Zay warns him about Carrot and about him being too nice and that it will come back to bite him.
Yes.
And the scene ends there, and it's it's very Shakespearean. It's very Shakespearean, like a little setup there of the witches, of Macbeth and the witches.
Macbeth.
Yep. Very Macbeth. Anyway, Angelica and Benny are in bed together, enjoying the moment when Angelica brings up leaving City of God. The violence is too much for him. Funny enough, earlier Angelica describes the perfect world that Shaggy wanted. It's a pure coincidence, but it was Shaggy's perfect world. The farm that Shaggy.
Wait, is it Angelica explaining it, or is it Benny explaining it? Because Benny was talking about a farm.
Okay, yeah, you're right. It was Benny. Sorry. Benny talks about a farm.
I actually never thought of
and growing weed.
I actually never thought of it because
it was Benny's description.
Damn, bro. I actually never thought of it. I never thought of it until you mentioned it now. Like his older brother wanted to go somewhere. No. But his older brother was actually following his girlfriend's idea. But here, Benny's the one that comes up with the idea, right? Or is it Angelique?
No, it's Benny. Benny, you're right.
Yeah.
I've written Angelica here, but I think it is Benny. I think you're right. But yeah, how crazy is that? Like,
dude, it's like history repeats itself, dog.
Yeah. What's it? It rhymes. Yeah, it's like poetry. It rhymes.
Damn.
I just thought that was just interesting to know. Anyway,
no, it is.
Yeah, we cut to Lil Zay going out. Their talk had ended on him getting a girl, and now we see him trying to look as spiffy as possible. We cut to a huge part to discover that. See, I've said Angelica twice. Maybe it was. I think it is both girlfriends.
Maybe like it even makes it better if it's Angelique, to be honest.
It's Angelique's dream. I've said it twice. That's crazy that I've said it twice.
No, then it must be Angelique then. But in Benny's defense, he was thinking of leaving for a while.
Anyway. Oh yeah, no, he's done. The violence has finally caught up to him.
Yeah.
I've got it.
I think for me, you start seeing that when he starts dyeing his hair, that for me, that's where it's like he killed his old self
Yeah.
to be a completely new person, wearing those island Hawaiian type of
Yes.
shirts, dating Angelique.
Exactly.
Like he was just becoming someone else.
Interesting. I think that's absolutely true. Yeah. And he just needed that last part for him to leave because he didn't want to leave alone, obviously. I wouldn't be surprised if Benny ends up being more as codependent as Lil Zay. Like I think we always think of the codependency being Lil Zay, being the codependent one. I mean, don't get me wrong, it has absolute consequences. But I think Benny was probably codependent as well. Like I wouldn't be surprised if it worked both ways. If you understand what I'm saying.
It was gonna be codependent on who though? On Angelique.
Yeah, he was going to transfer the codependency to Angelique. As in,
because why didn't he leave by himself? Why did he have to go with
exactly.
Angelique?
Yes. Like understand Benny, that Zay needs Benny, right? But do we understand that Benny needs Zay? Do you know what I mean?
Yes, yes.
And now that
no, he definitely does.
Yeah.
Because even if he was gonna be at the farm and whatever, like you said before, him being a softie, even though he's still a hardcore dude, but
Yeah.
people were still gonna see that as a soft spot, and they're probably gonna kill Angelique. So.
Yeah. Oh, I wouldn't be surprised. Hey, dog, everyone needs a woman to talk to the manager when they get their order wrong, when they get their food wrong. You know what I mean? So I think he still needed that. I'm sure there's some level of like, no, there's like definitely a level of strength to Angelique. If you understand what I'm saying.
No, definitely. No, definitely. Like Angelique is that girl, dog. Like, okay, I'm gonna describe a girl, and I'm sure you will relate. You'll probably know someone I'm talking about. You know, that hot chick whose father is strict. And I think I mentioned the same thing in the first one, in part one. Hot chick, strict father. She's fearless, dates bad boys, and has witnessed a lot of stuff. That's basically who Angelique is. So she doesn't really get threatened by a lot of things, and she has witnessed a lot of dudes fighting for her, or just fighting in general. She has witnessed a lot of blood, dated guys with like bruises on their faces, and
probably been approached by
a lot of
people anyway. Yeah.
Pardon?
Probably been approached by bad people anyway, just by herself. Do you know what I mean? Not even just because you get some people that can't handle a no. And when you're as beautiful as Angelique, you're bound to you're going to get most people talking to you. And of those most people of them, some of them will be the unfortunate type. Type. So she's had to deal with that on her own. She's got practice. When you're as Angelique.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Absolutely.
Like she would fit perfectly in Dom's crew, dog. Like perfectly in Dom's crew.
Which is ironic, but
if this was Fast and Furious.
Yeah,
this was Fast and Furious, she would fit perfectly.
Ironically, Angelique might be a better fit for the character than the one they chose in Fast 5.
Which character do you think she's in Fast 5?
It's Ryan Reynolds, not Ryan Reynolds' wife. Who was it again? It's Ryan. Whose wife is it again? The lady.
Chris Hemsworth's wife.
Is it Chris Hemsworth's wife? No, yes, it is Chris Hemsworth's wife. Yes, from Fast 5. Yeah. It should have been an Angelique type. It would have made more sense.
Fair enough. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Makes you think. Oh, God, I could rant about Fast and Furious.
But also, I guess they didn't want it to, because I mean, if they had done that, she would have been a Letty clone. She would have been a Letty wannabe. So
Letty.
I guess you needed to make her a bit.
I would argue with that because Letty is very, whereas Angelique is very, like she's very go with the flow kind of thing. She's very like Letty doesn't act high. You know what I mean? Whereas this woman is like a hippie almost. She's a hippie stereotype.
Letty. Okay.
And
I get you.
It worked because what's her face doesn't have a personality. She's a strong police chick. Cool. The end. She has a baby, then she dies. That's the total sum of her personality.
Yeah, I think, you know what? I think they were trying to give her the What's that girl from Lord of the Rings? The one that sort of like had a thing with Aragorn. Not Arwen.
Not
Eowyn. Eowyn or the...
Yes, Eowyn.
Yeah. So I think they were trying to give her that Eowyn treatment where everybody will just be like, Dom, be with this girl, please. Right? Because that's, I mean, didn't you feel like that? Didn't you feel like that when Eowyn was with Aragorn? Didn't you feel like, dog, Aragorn, come on, dog, like,
yeah, because
date this one.
Got to see, and there was a personality there. Whereas with first, they really wasn't.
That's what I'm saying. I feel like it was a failed attempt at doing that.
I really do, because again, there was, and it's so funny. It's not because there was so little screen time. Don't get me wrong, there was little screen time, but Game of Thrones has done more with less. Especially because one of my favorite episodes is the episode where he goes to the. You've seen Game of Thrones. We've talked about it before. You finished it. I think it's season 6 where Jon Snow goes to the wildlands to go collect the people. Do you remember like those leaders? There was that one leader chick. She like dies in the same episode, but she had more personality than the Fast and the Five. She was fantastic, and then she dies. But oh, like it is crazy when you actually think of it like that. But
I think she was killed by the White Walkers or something, if I remember correctly.
Yes, because the baby White Walkers. You even know who I'm talking about. You do, am I right?
No. I remember. I think I remember the episode we're talking about. Yeah.
The description I used was so vague, but you knew who I meant. That's crazy when you think about it, dude. And that's the point. I struggled trying to make you remember the Fast and the Furious 5 chick. But with the Lord of the Two Towers chick, you remember it almost immediately. That's crazy. I mean, sorry, with Game of Thrones, that's crazy. What we just did there was crazy.
No, but the thing is, Fast 5 has a lot of, like, I thought maybe you were talking about, who's this chick, man? She's hot, but she's kind of like
Jordan Brewster.
MMA fighter.
Not Joe. Oh, man, that was...
No, not
Or Gina
Not
Carano.
Jordana Brewster. Gina Carano.
That's 6, man. That's 6 and 7. Gina Carano is 6. Ronda Rousey is 7. None of them are 5. I'm
okay.
Up to Fast 8. I'm a Fast and the Furious expert. I am a connoisseur of Fast and the Furious.
Up until what?
Up until 8.
You didn't watch 9?
9. Dog, it made me dizzy. I was just like, no, sorry. 8 was so bad that I didn't even bother watching 9. Like,
no, I get it. Look, I think. No, but 9 is bad. Because what came out now, it's 10, right?
Oh, sorry. Am I thinking, wait. 8 is John Cena. 9 is the one where Tyrese is like, because to me, I feel like Tyrese was undervalued. Again, I could talk about this for 7 hours. I've done this.
No, 8 is not John Cena. 8 is Dom being evil.
You're right.
9
is John
Cena.
And that's the terrible one.
Yes, 9 is the terrible one.
Yes. It is honest to God.
Because I wanted to say,
yeah.
I wanted to say like 5 to 8 are really good. I mean, 8 is not that great, but from 5 to 8,
masterpiece. 3 is a masterpiece.
From 5 to 8, there's a consistency.
Okay, yeah.
In terms of
when they become superheroes, yes. From 5 to 8.
Yeah. Okay. Let me say from 4 to 8. 4 is the weakest for sure. But from 4 to 8.
I actually watched a documentary on it, dude. 5 is when they were like, okay, we need to make a change. Because they kind of acknowledged that 4 was a bit of a mistake. But definitely. What was 4, dog?
What made 4 interesting for me? Okay, guys, this is a tangent, so please bear with us. What made 4 interesting for me? It was 3 things, nah? 1, Dom coming back with Brian.
Okay. Yes.
And also seeing Mia again, right? So it's a reunion of these guys who we last saw in the first one. That was important. That was very important.
Yes, and that's because there was a gap after 3, if I remember correctly. If I remember,
Yes.
there was a gap. Like, remember, like 3 came out, and there's like a 3-year gap before the next movie came out.
Right.
I believe so. So we were also happy to see Dom again. And remember, we hadn't seen Dom
and Brian. So
yeah,
you were happy to see Dom and Brian together,
yeah,
and Mia.
Yes, but remember, we'd
right?
seen Brian in 2. We'd seen Brian.
Oh yes.
But we hadn't seen Dom
yes.
and Mia since 1.
Yes.
So,
yes.
so there was no sample of him until 4. And we're like, you're right. It's a reunion. But the problem is that it's just a reunion. It's a reunion in a
But I wanted to say the other thing is, because for it to be whole, the 2 main characters had to be there and their girlfriends had to be there, right?
Yeah.
But then what made it really interesting, Fast and Furious, was that Letty was not there anymore.
Yes.
She was killed,
Yeah,
right? She was killed. Yes. So that's what made it interesting. And also, I'd say the last thing I think would be how Brian and Dom, like us seeing them really, really work together as a team. Like these guys were like, the Springboks.
Yeah.
2007 Springboks. Be like Habana and Percy Montgomery or something. It's as if they didn't even have to verbalize anything that they're doing. They were just so in sync with everything that they do. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So they were introducing us to that. Like when you have Brian and Dom, they can do anything together. I think that's what made it so interesting. So that's why I think even 5 starts with them, like with that heist, right? Like them stealing those cars and whatever.
Where they murdered everyone in that police car, in that police bus. Everyone in there, they're going to lie and say nobody died. I think that's what the news reporter says, nobody died. But not everybody died. Do you remember?
Yeah.
If I
remember. Okay, I actually meant 6, because 6 starts with the train, moving train, and then there's cars in the train, right?
Not right. So I'm the one who's wrong. I think 5 ends with the bus flipping over, and then no, I think it's both. I think they're both in 5. I think we're wrong here. I think they're both in the movie 5. And 5.
No, 5 starts with
the bus flipping over, and then they run away. Because 4 ends with Dom going to jail. Yes. And then 5 starts with him breaking out with the bus flipping over 75 times and no one dying. And then their first job together their first job together is the train scene. And that sets off the inciting incident for the rest of the movie, where the 2 agents get killed and they steal the computer part. The 2 agents get killed, bring in the rock, they steal the computer part, which calls out the gangster leader of Brazil.
Right.
Sorry.
Right. Then how does 6 start then?
6 starts with the Rock finds him. The Rock finds Dom. The Rock finds Dom and says, I'm not here to arrest you. I need your help. That's how 6 starts. Because it turns out there was a heist, and which involves Jason Statham's brother, and then he robs
No, that's 7.
No, Statham's brother being alive.
Oh, you're talking about Shaw, yes.
Yes, Shaw.
Owen Shaw, yeah.
There we go. Yes, Owen Shaw. Look at us, Fast and Furious connoisseurs.
Because what happens is the Rock takes an L, and like you know that the Rock will need Dom if he takes an L. Like if the Rock takes an L, he needs Dom's help.
Heist happens first, and then they realize this is not working, and then they fetch the Rock. Then they fetch what's his face, Dom. I think that's what happens. It starts with Shaw's heist. And then I forgot what he stole though. And then
because he asked him to go to Russia with him or something, right?
Something like that, yeah.
Because Dom was like, I don't like the cold.
Yes. Well, I think we're getting it right. Yes, we're getting it right. Okay.
Maybe one day we need to do a whole.
This is next week. This is my video choice. Us talking about what about Karate Kid? First of all, that's week 2 and week what? Remember, it's New Metro, the movie review, then it's my choice, then it's the movie review. So we haven't had my choice yet.
Okay. So which one are we doing then?
Have you seen all the Resident Evils?
No.
Maybe we'll just do Fast and none of them, or all of them, or none, or how many?
I don't know. It's up to you. It's your week. So
I want to start my own series about like any series that has more than 6 movies, and we just talk about it, about all 6 movies. So like, let's say.
Okay, maybe we'll bring the gang in then.
Yeah.
I'll talk to the guys. Yeah. Okay.
I think that's a fun idea, dog. I'm excited for it actually. Now that I've said it.
No, definitely. Definitely. Let's do it. Let's do it. All right. Sorry, guys.
Back to the
back to the film.
Yes. The whole point of the conversation was, even though she has actually a secondary role in this movie, the role of what's her name now?
Angelique.
Angelique is ironically well defined.
Yeah.
And well done and well performed, despite it being minuscule.
Look, I don't think people understand how important this role was for Alice Braga. I think she had already done something prior, but I think this was like her second or third film that she did. And I think because of this film, she got a break in Hollywood. And mind you, like you said, she doesn't really have a huge role in this movie. Like, her role is probably like 20% in this entire film. But her performance was so great that she eventually got to do a lot of Hollywood films after this. And series and all of that.
And once the character serves its purpose, after the shooting, she's gone.
Yeah.
Never see her again. So you are 4 scenes at the most. With her not even doing most of the talking. But she's so well defined. It's actually a lesson in writing. It is a lesson in writing 101, dude.
Yeah.
Paying attention, and it is a lesson in writing. It is an education. But yeah.
You know what it's like? It's like the first Bad Boys film. There's a point where Will Smith's character, Mike Larry, is off screen, bro.
Yeah.
Right? And because Marcus has been saying Mike Larry like 7,000 times in Will Smith's absence. By the time Mike Larry comes back, we're like, yo, Mike Larry is back. Right? I don't know if you get me.
I do.
Like Will Smith before he left, before he was off screen as Mike Larry, he was just Will Smith. He was just this cool cop, whatever. Yeah. When he came back, he was Goku, dog. Because like it was all about Marcus trying to be this perfect guy. This guy has a huge house. This guy always gets the girls. This guy has to be poised and whatever. This guy never misses. So by the time Will came back, we're like, oh, this is the real guy. Let's see what he can do. So it's this thing as well, like where Rocket is talking about Angelique, how he wants to lose his virginity with her, how he wants her, and like he keeps taking photos of her. So by the time you actually see Angelique doing something, you're already in love with her.
Yeah, I actually do get what you're trying to say. Okay, because in a way, you could say, I would say Will Smith Larry's character is well defined, absolutely, as well. Because what happens is, I kind of thought you meant like a John Wick kind of build up, you know, the Baba Yaga thing. But now I kind of understand more what you're saying. You do get instead of it being like an explicit breakdown, like with John Wick and Baba Yaga, what you end up with is an explicit, almost like a reverse breakdown. Because technically, one could argue he's wrong. Martin, the way he beats up Mark Lowry, he's wrong.
Yeah.
Because he says it in a negative way. You know what I mean? He's saying this is a cheese boy, while the rest of us out here are basically Bruce Willis in Die Hard, a working man. This is
because Marcus is Bruce Willis, though. Yes. He is John McClane, straight up.
Yes, but we paint this what's it, that Princess Bride? I don't know, a male princess, not a prince, but a princess. that basically is LARPing. You know what LARPing is, right? It's live role playing where you pretend, like you play Dungeons and Dragons, but instead you dress up as a Dungeons and Dragons character. Real life. Right. So he paints a picture of a guy that's playing pretend. And ironically, when we see the real Mike Lowry, he's a hardworking, strong, intelligent guy that has to work extra hard to prove himself to a bunch of people that think he's playing a video game.
Because he's a trust fund kid,
Yes.
So it's like he has to,
baby. Everyone else is doing it for a paycheck. He's doing it because he wanted to be a policeman, and people resent him for it. And in the storyline, you see that with the setup, and then you see him battling that setup, that he deserves to be there.
Right.
Absolutely brilliant.
Yeah.
That's
brilliant writing right there, bro. Brilliant writing. Yeah.
See, this is what you should be clipping. You should make a mark. It's a smart. Like, cut this half an hour and then put that in as a clip. Because that was great.
I'm clipping the Fast and Furious one, and I'm gonna clip this Bad Boys one.
This was great. That was like, oh my god, that was fun.
No, definitely.
Anyway, let's get back to the movie.
And funny enough, we love this movie. Don't get us wrong.
This is a masterpiece. Ironically, that's going to go into the tangent because it's a masterpiece. We can't show other brilliant pieces of storytelling that don't even match this, but they come close. Anyway, we cut to a huge party to discover that Benny took Angelica's wish to heart, and now it's a goodbye party for him. The whole town appears to have shown up for him. We even get a shot of Zay looking at a girl, the camera swinging over his shoulder to the girl, and he actually asks a girl to dance, but she's taken. And he's awkward about the whole situation. He's out of his element. He can't. That's not him. And he bails. He runs away from the situation. You get a distant shot of Zay approaching Benny because I think it's a negative reaction to how powerless he feels. This man is obsessed with power, and in that situation, he felt powerless. So he goes to Benny to try and talk him out of it.
Yeah. So here's the thing. Little Zay, I think he was even a virgin at this point because he's so obsessed with the task at hand that women have not been that important to him.
At all.
He loves them, he respects them, but women have never really been important to him to that extent. Absolutely. Like having a girlfriend was not because he had Benny. So Benny for him was Benny actually gave him all the solace that he needed in life. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no pause.
No, Paul. Like what I mean, I'm not saying it in a very
I know what you mean.
Sexual way. Yeah. It's kind of like in the Bible where they talk about David and Jonathan. So because they say the love of David and Jonathan was stronger than the love they had for women. So it's like when Benny, because he did this because Benny told him he needs to get a woman. Because what happened was Benny said he was going to go see Angelique. I was like, when are you not focusing anymore? It's like, dude, relax. You need to get someone. So he was taking Benny's advice. So that's why he started asking that girl for
a number,
for a dance. And the girl was like, no, I have a boyfriend.
Exactly.
And mind you, this girl, this particular girl, causes like a whole...
And like, what is it? It's the universe. It's the universe coming together. Bro. Yeah. But don't forget something. It also ties to the power element. When Zay talks to someone, they listen. The answer is always yes.
Yeah. But also, remember what I said about his respect for women. If that was a guy, that guy would have died right there and there.
Yeah. Definitely. Yeah.
But the first time he leaves, he just bounces. He takes the L and leaves.
Oh yeah, and he can't handle that. He can't accept that. There's nothing special about it. He can't handle. Remember, he's obsessed with power. So for him, any no is ridiculous.
Yeah.
To the point where he tries to talk to Benny, and then Benny also says no. Now
so he gets rejected twice.
And don't forget something. This man, when you go through a trauma, sometimes your aging process stops. If you understand what I'm saying.
Damn. That's a bar right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Aging process has stopped a long time ago. You know what I mean? He doesn't have the maturity to accept this. So what does he do after the first no? He retaliates to go to Benny, and then he gets a second no.
Right.
Because of his inability to cope with this, he has to lash out. He has to.
Huh.
Which is why we get the next result.
Right. But also remember, this is where I say Rocket's narrating is brilliant. Because this is where he explains the difference between Knockout Ned and Lil Zay. Because he says one is ugly, the other one is handsome. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like he explains all that stuff.
Yeah. But
before we see Lil Zay lashing out. So that when he lashes out, you understand why he's lashing out.
Absolutely. And but remember, even beyond the dialogue, while this is happening, you see some of the best acting that has ever existed. Because all of this is not being said. A lot of this is not being said by Rocket. All of it is us seeing this man's face as he does not cope with what he's dealing with.
No, dude, this guy is one of the best actors in this entire movie, Tom. He is amazing. He's brilliant. He's brilliant.
And then we even get flashbacks. You get flashbacks in this moment. Like, it's that intense to him. And as he's having a seriously hard time dealing with it. This is not a problem.
Wait, what's with the flashbacks?
He gets like little flashes. There's like actual flashes, sorry. There's like not flashbacks, but flashes. With him dealing with the process. And while he's having a hard time dealing with it, because again, he's not mature, he's not mentally equipped to deal with it because he's still a child in his own way. It's not a problem he can fix by killing something, right? And that's driving him crazy because so far the answer has been killing something. That's another thing. Right. The answer, the system that he's been living by has been working. Everything the belief system that he's built inside of himself, that everything can generally be fixed with a bullet, is not working right now. And then the camera bounces from shot to shot. It's disorientated before zooming in on the guy he bumped a long time ago.
Right.
So that guy that he bumped a long time ago is with that girl that just said no.
And mind you, Benny is sort of like the glue of the community because he has friends with people from the church. He has friends with like dancing groups and singing like choirs and like he's different parts of the community, and everybody's there.
And he's like a force field that protects them from him as well. It's not just them; it's both ways.
100%. Yeah,
it's fantastic. So anyway, he sees that guy with the girl, and he marches directly with him with purpose. He then points a gun at the man with the goal to humiliate him. This is a moment of breaking for Zay. Ironically, not the guy that is victimizing, but Zay. Right now, the person going through the worst is actually Zay.
Yeah.
Psychologically, anyway. I mean, physically, no, it's not. But psychologically...
What did Knockout Ned do? He didn't do anything.
He existed in the wrong place at the wrong time. That was his biggest crime.
He just happens to be dating the girl that rejected you. Yeah. That's all.
Oh, that's all. But yeah, suddenly we snap to Blackie, who is still bloody from before. The whole party is looking at this terrible display when we jump to Tiago. Tiago approaches Benny to offer him a camera, which is not something he's doing anymore. But they try to get over with it because they just figure that Rocket would love the camera. They call Rocket over and we see Blackie. Rocket is given the camera. We see that the poor guy from long before has been stripped down to nothing, while others are laughing, and especially his gang. His gang is having a great time. When Zay catches sight of Benny and Rocket hugging, a nightmare scenario, because technically, to be fair, the guy getting attacked, we don't know him, but we do know Rocket, and we can see the mood that Zay's in. So, you know, it's scary. It's because Zay is just looking for a fight right now. Then we see behind a post in the background, we see Blackie. It's all intercut beautifully. Before we can see where this goes, Zay enters the moment of Blackie where it goes. Zay enters this moment with Benny and Rocket and snatches the camera, knocking Rocket to the ground. The song playing ends and we switch to a faster song with the strobe light as Benny and Zay fight over the camera. This is the moment that Blackie takes and shoots, but ends up hitting Benny before leaving with the crowd. Zay freaks out, going so far as chasing Angelica away. This leaves the entire party empty as Zay holds Benny and fires into the sky. His violence.
And that's the thing, though. The last time you speak to the person that meant the entire world to you was when you guys were arguing over camera.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
So. Yeah.
Okay. I was gonna say, yeah, leaving the party empty as Zay holds Benny and he fires into the sky because his violence, the one thing that has always worked for him, is now meaningless. No amount of shooting can do anything. Yeah, that's a scene. Yeah, you're saying?
I just wanted to say that I felt sorry for Angelique at the same time because they had plans. You know, she wanted to be with this guy, and she loved him. She actually loved Benny.
But
everybody loved Benny.
Yeah. But she couldn't move over him because she couldn't.
If Lil Zay was not there with the gun, everybody would have been there to mourn Benny.
Yeah. It would have been a beautiful moment, but right now there's a saber-toothed tiger lurking over the thing. Yeah.
And I guess also it shows you just how alone Lil Zay. Like, there's a lot of nuances here, man. Like, okay, Benny and Lil Zay fighting for the camera was more to do with him struggling to let go of Benny than the actual camera. It's like, dude, come, don't go, you know? And Benny trying to take the camera is him saying, I'm bouncing, bro. I'm taking my own, I'm living my life, I'm leaving this thing. So that tug of war between the two, it was more than just about the camera. It was about their friendship, their bond, everything.
Yes.
And then when Benny died and he was shooting in the air, it's like the person that I loved on the planet, in this entire world, is gone. And I'm alone. In this big hall, I'm all alone, meaning this huge territory that I occupy or that I rule over, I'm alone. That's basically, you know, for me, yeah.
Have you heard of the TV series called The Expanse?
No.
It's a masterpiece. You should watch it. It's fantastic. It's sci-fi. There's this character that's in there. His name is Amos. He's basically a diagnosed sociopath. Like, he doesn't understand right from wrong almost. Do you know what I mean?
All right.
And there's a chick that's always with him, and he's like, I hang around you because I know the decisions you make are good. So I know if I stick by you, I won't accidentally make the wrong decision.
Right.
I have to remember something. Again, like I said, this man's growth and development has been stunted severely. In a way, this could not have happened any other way. You know what I mean?
Right.
Best case scenario, maybe over time, there would have been a situation where Zay would have been forced to evolve in order to get Benny back.
To mellow down a bit. Maybe if he had his own child or something.
But that doesn't happen. Yeah, and it's just this whole thing of falling apart, and because he cannot cope, these things happen, and because his path to redemption through Benny gets cut off, we know that everyone's in a lot of trouble right now.
Yeah, because he becomes the man that he always wanted to become without Benny.
Exactly.
It's kind of like when Vegeta was influenced by that Majin spell. He was trying to just be the old person that he was, but dog, it cannot happen. You're no longer that person.
Yeah, not just that. I agree, you're no longer that person, but not just that, but this new person is better. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's not
better for who?
Different. For you. It's better for you in general.
Oh, you mean yes.
Like, 100%. You're stronger as the new person than you are as the old person. So when you go to the old person, you're not strong as you were before. But you know, like, it's very...
You're going back to your weak self.
Yes.
Which you misinterpret as being a better version of yourself.
Yes, exactly.
Right.
Exactly. Yeah. Anyway, the culmination of all that stuff ending there is brilliance at its finest. It is filmmaking brilliance, storytelling brilliance.
Would you say this is the end of Act 2?
You could say that almost, yeah. You could say that.
Or Act 3?
You almost want this is a 4-act play because basically this is the beginning of a whole new storyline now. But yes, you could say that.
Yeah.
You know, I would say no, it's not. It's a halfway point. I would say it's the halfway point tragedy. Ironically, this would be the. So we're technically still in Act 2, I think.
Because we both agree that Act 1 ends where the trio,
where they die.
The
trio dies.
Yeah. I wouldn't say the trio die. The 2 of the 3 die. The other one becomes a pastor.
They say when the trio ends, but I think this is the midpoint climax. Oh no, actually that's a tricky one because the midpoint climax is Rocket alone on the beach. I think that is the midpoint. It's a midpoint. Yeah. This is a storyline of the midpoint. Well, it's for the other team it's a midpoint high, and then for Rocket it's a midpoint low. But then Rocket's life improves, then everyone else's life falls apart. So it's kind of like this trajectory. Yes. Whereas before it was like this, where Rocket's life basically did this, well, it was always low, to be honest. But then everyone else did this, and then kind of thing, Majiki. Whereas this here.
So the beach is Act 2.
Act 2 is definitely the beach. No, but I would say it's the midpoint of Act 2. I guess you could say this is the end of Act 3. I would say it's either this or it's when Knockout Ned changes. After Knockout Ned. Either this or the shooting at Knockout Ned's house. Because I feel like those are 2 major turning points in the storyline. And they basically happen like 5 minutes apart, if I'm correct.
No, I think the death of Benny has to be the end of an act, I think.
But you can't say Knockout Ned's change is... It's literally it's almost the next scene.
Yeah, I say that's the beginning of the 3rd act, though. Or the 4th, or whatever you want to call it. Because Knockout Ned does become a main character.
I guess I hear your argument, though.
Because Benny was so crucial. Benny is like the death of Mufasa, though.
Oh, yes, no, I agree with you. Things change more, I guess, because we get a new Zay. After Benny's death, we get a new Zay.
Exactly.
But to be fair, Zay has been undefeated until Knockout Ned stands up. It's a tricky one. But
that's also the third. That's still the 3rd act, in my opinion, or the 4th, whatever you want to call it.
I don't know. Because
it's like, like with Die Hard, for instance, it's like when Hans finally gets everything, like everything starts working for Hans. I would say that's the beginning of whatever act of that movie, because everything is working in his favor, right?
Well, if I remember correctly, the midpoint of that one was when the cops show up. That's the midpoint. So that's already 2. The cops show up. They surround the area, and it feels like Bruce Willis is going to win. And then things fall apart, and things fall apart. Yes. And then the height of that is when Hans Gruber...
The explosion.
No, it's when the vault opens. That's the height.
Yes.
But I wouldn't call that the actual moment of the 3rd act. I think when he gets the detonation devices, when he gets them from Bruce Willis, and Bruce Willis has to glass, I think that's the final act. Either that or the moment the safe opens. One of those 2.
Because if you say Knockout, I don't know. It's very...
No, I think you're right, actually. I think you're right. It's a bit close. But then again, to be fair, this is an unconventional story. It's a bit close to the midpoint.
Yeah.
I think you're right.
Yeah. I think the reason I'm saying this is because we didn't really know much about Knockout Ned then. So even if they did shoot at his house, we don't know who he is. So it wouldn't have had that much weight. The weight here is that it changes Lil Zed.
Yeah.
And City of God changes completely after this.
Yeah, okay, no, fair enough. We'll say that this is the beginning of Act 3. That's fine with me.
I don't know. I could be wrong.
No, I think you got a
point.
Guys,
let us know in the comments.
Yeah.
Let us know in the comments. Yeah.
Anyway, 1 hour, 19 minutes in. we cut to Blackie rushing into Carrot's territory. Carrot is about to let him in when Benny explains everything. Carrot simply explains that he killed the coolest guy in all of City of God and shoots him dead.
You mean Blackie, right? Not Benny.
Sorry, Black. Yeah. Yeah, Benny dying at the 1 hour, 20-minute mark was surprising to me, but at the same time, yeah. With the death of Benny, the only block keeping Carrot safe, Carrot is fucked. Yeah. We immediately see an army of gangsters on the move, and when it is ruined by the girl from before, who shoves Zay away out of anger because of everything that happened before. Zay follows after her, only to end up with a guy, and it's Knockout Ned. Zay catches up to them. The scene Alan J cuts with a scream, and we get a brilliant camera angle of a foot on Knockout Ned's head as he's held down while his girl is assaulted. We also get a close-up of the amulet as the assault happens.
I wanted to say that because if you remember, the guy said, do not fornicate while you have this thing on.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
When he was giving it to him.
Yes. It's very Macbeth, yeah.
Yeah, and the fact that he is, I don't want to, is graping this woman.
Oh my God. Very TikTok of you, yes.
Because it's going on YouTube, this thing.
Yeah, I know.
He's graping this woman and they just zoom in on the amulet. So if you are paying attention, this is the beginning of the downfall of Lil Zay.
Yes.
Basically.
Exactly. Which is probably why I think of it as more of the third act, because this is when, in fact, isn't it more Othello? Which is the movie? Because I think now, let me think.
No, I don't think it's Othello-ish.
Yes, okay, Macbeth is a good example, but isn't there one where they break a rule, where the main character breaks a rule and then everything falls apart? I feel like I'm making a mistake. There's another Shakespeare play that does this.
I mean, all Shakespeare stuff, there's a breaking of a rule somewhere.
Definitely.
Like even Romeo and Juliet, Romeo does break a rule. That's why he gets banished,
Yeah.
In Othello, you would say it's when he overheard the conversation between his second in command and Iago. And according to him, Iago made him believe that he was his second in command was talking about Desdemona. But that guy was not talking about Desdemona. He was talking about someone else. And because that guy was saying how he doesn't like that woman. But to Othello, it sounded like he was talking about Desdemona. That's why Othello kept fainting.
Yeah, but yeah, it's still very Shakespeare. And I think that's a thing that people underplay. Sometimes I feel like we as creatives, we're all trying to be so completely original that sometimes by retelling a classic, we end up telling one of the most original stories ever told. Do you know what I mean? If that makes any sense.
Yeah.
Because sometimes
it does make sense.
Time for a reason, because they're telling an ancient truth. Do you know? Yeah. I don't know. I find stuff like that fascinating.
I get you. It's biblical almost.
Yes.
Like there's certain things you cannot avoid.
Yeah. Like how Amadeus is a story of Cain and Abel retold, basically.
Yeah.
It's stuff
certain
like
things.
Difference. Yeah, stand the test of time.
No, I get you. So that I didn't even see this Macbeth correlation until you mentioned it. I didn't see it at all. I didn't really see it at all until you're mentioning, how Benny was basically warned and things unfold like they did, and how Lil Zay now is the Macbeth. Like how was Macbeth initially, but now Lil Zay is the Macbeth now.
Yeah.
And obviously it's pretty clear that Knockout Ned is Macduff. Like it's pretty clear.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Crazy stuff, man. Storytelling, man. Storytelling.
Yeah.
Anyway, 1 hour, 22 minutes in, we're in a room full of guys. Ned and the guys are all dead.
But there's something that I just wanted to say quickly.
Dead-eyed. Sorry, but anyway, yeah, you're saying?
How when he was done doing whatever he did, there's a scene where because it's just focusing on Knockout Ned's face. Like, obviously, he's not looking at the camera, but like it's zoomed in. And dude, like, he misses. Obviously, he didn't miss it. He didn't want to kill him anyway. He didn't want to kill Knockout Ned. And you see that bullet hitting the ground, dog. Like, this is before it transitions to the next scene.
Oh yeah.
Because he put his foot on Knockout Ned and then he pulls the trigger, but it doesn't hit him. But then it's like you see the bullet, the impact of the bullet on the ground. That was amazing. I've never seen anything like that, though.
Hey,
I was like, flip.
This is stuff, man.
This is insane.
Great stuff.
Yeah, anyway, Knockout Ned is pissed off. He's crying.
Basically, we're in a room full of people. Ned and everyone there is all dead-eyed, staring at nothing. There's tear streaks all over their faces. Ned goes over his shame over what happened and wonders why Zay didn't kill him.
Bro, he is so powerless because what can you do? Even your family members, what can they do? They can't do anything. They're powerless.
Not against Zay, and they know who Zay is, no question.
Yeah. And because I think he said something like he can't even look at his lady in that, like, that relationship is over actually. Like, after that,
his shame will probably, I mean, he shouldn't. He should probably try to make things better, but at the same time, his own shame will definitely end that relationship. Definitely.
Yeah, because we never see that lady ever again after that.
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah. So it's like
sent her away after all that.
Yeah, so it's like, dude, what can you do? Oh, by the way, it's something I wanted to mention in the previous one. I don't think we did. After the first scene, after the first act, where we saw the girl leaving with the driver.
Yes.
When we see Lil Zay and Benny at a party, they show that girl. And Benny's like, yeah, this is my older brother's girlfriend. Meaning she came back to City of God. Like, she came. Yeah. You don't remember there was a part, like, before Lil Zay actually, because remember Lil Zay eventually said, like, Lil Zay was telling Benny, look, I wanna own
over, yeah.
I wanna take over. And Benny was like, when? And he's like, right now. Before that conversation, Benny does point out to that girl dancing with some criminal, and he's like, you see that lady? Yeah, that's my brother's ex-girlfriend. I'm like, oh, flip, and it is her. So it's like she came back, dog. And now it's like she's now attracted to gangsters, I guess, or to hoods.
Missed that. And it's not the girl that died, because a part of me thought maybe that's the girl that died. It's not though, right? With the baby. It's not Blackie's girlfriend, right? She didn't become Blackie's girlfriend, right? Because that would be insane.
No.
You sure, right? Okay.
It was not like, it was someone else, some random guy. But yeah, anyway, sorry about that. Yeah.
Oh.
I think you were about to talk about how Knockout Ned says, pardon?
And you noticing that is crazy. I just drawing a blank. Is that her? Yeah.
No, it's her. I promise you, it's her.
Huh. Anyway, you gotta show me a picture or something. Anyway, anyway, I was saying Ned goes over his shame over what happens, and he wonders why Zay didn't kill him. And then what follows is you get some extremely dark comedy.
Yes.
We cut to Zay, and he has the exact same epiphany. Why didn't
they kill that guy?
Why am I not murdering?
But that's the thing about this guy's acting, man. You can hate him in one scene, or fear him, and then in another scene you're like, this guy is such an idiot.
Yeah.
You know, that's how great he is, man.
Definitely. And he does it so perfectly for the moment.
Hey, bro.
And all of this happens before he can even get to Carrot, who they were headed to in the first place.
Yeah.
So he decides, no, you know what? Let me finish what I started.
Yeah, we'll go to Carrot another time, guys. Let's go back there.
This is the one thing I've been dreaming of for half the movie. But you know what? This Knockout Ned guy, fuck him. My dream.
And mind you,
yeah,
like we said earlier, Knockout Ned hasn't done anything. He just happens to be the boyfriend of the girl that this guy was rejected by.
Yep.
Knockout Nut has not done anything wrong.
Yep. Man's been trying to live a straight life. And it turns out, no, according to Zay, he's the problem. He's all the world's problems on Ned. So yeah, so he goes back to kill Ned. And he appears outside Ned's house, calling his girl a slut and demanding he come outside.
With like 30 niggas behind.
Yeah, exactly. And with Ned already drowning in shame, he freaks out. And feeling like, and to him, it actually feels like he's been given a second chance to redeem himself. So the whole family has to hold him down. Like the whole family has to fight tooth and
like, dude, don't go out.
Yeah. So they have to
stay in the house.
And the younger brother.
Inside.
Yep. And the younger brother does the unthinkable and steps out.
I feel like the younger brother thought that this was his movie. I think he thought he was the main character of this thing.
No, you could make Dog Man thought his name was on the movie's title. No, this is a Naruto.
No, dog.
So his brother tries to calm Zay down, and then when it fails, he takes the opportunity to stab Zay. Then he tries to run away, and this gets him killed before he can even take one step.
So I think also he actually escalated the situation.
Oh no!
Because if he had not tried to stab Zay, maybe Zay was not gonna shoot. I don't know.
No. There was no way the brother wasn't gonna die. I mean, sorry, Knockout Ned wasn't gonna die. So I feel like that was going to happen. Now you can argue what happened to the rest of the house. Now that part you can argue as an escalation.
No, I'm talking about the rest of the, like, what I'm saying is, Zay was not interested in killing the entire family. He just wanted to kill Knockout Ned.
Fair enough, but at the same time, what family is going to deliberately let their person out to die? Like at that point, are you a family? Do you know what I mean? So it was a lose-lose situation. The family can't exactly march their own child for execution.
Yeah.
So
they were gonna barge in eventually.
Like it was gonna go wrong either way. So anyway, yeah, he gets annihilated by multiple guns before he can even take a step away, and the entire house is blasted with bullets as dozens of hoods fire into the home, killing at least one person that was sitting in a chair. This saves Carrot's life.
I think that was the dad, eh? Was that the dad?
The dad or the uncle? Because I could have sworn the dad was the one that was holding him down.
Oh, that was the uncle. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
I think that was the uncle, yeah.
Yeah, because it's another older person that was sitting in a chair. And there's no way dad isn't the one that's holding him down. So I think it was an uncle. Yeah, this saves Carrot's life as he calls off the hunt for Carrot, calls it a day. And we are left with the horror of the decimated home. And then Carrot appears and gives Ned a gun. 1 hour and 23 minutes. We jump to Zay getting his arm bandaged up when Ned appears and just blasts everything and manages to wound one and kill another. We jump to Zay walking away from the situation when one of his henchmen, Tuba, is trying to suck up, but Zay gets tired of him. He's trying to be the new Benny. And Zayd gets tired of him and just shoots him.
Yeah, but the thing is, Tuba has been there. Like, he's been there for a long time.
Yep. But with Benny there, I'm sure he didn't feel like he could speak up. But now he just can't stop speaking. It's like, shut up.
Or even if he was talking and speaking up, like, I guess it was not really it was not that much of an issue. I think the issue, really started when Benny left.
Yes.
Like, dude, you talk too much, like.
Exactly. Anyway, Zay is spiraling and Knockout Ned is painted as a hero.
What did Tuba say?
He was just like, oh, thank God we made it. You know what I mean? Or he was just talking too much. He wasn't even talking about anything meaningful. It's like, I'm so glad we're alive or some nonsense like that. And obviously Zay is not having it. And then he gets shot. Tiago shows up begging for Coke. And the kid, aka Steak and Fries, it is Steak and Fries, goes to the gang to find them despondent. The kid is given an instruction to make a deal with Carrot to get Ned. But Ned is in the room. But Ned is already in the room with Carrot. and when he sees that, the kid takes off. We get a split screen as the kid is grabbed and Carrot is making a deal with Ned. It's very clever. Ned accepts and they let the kid go. Back to Ned, who is having a hard time with the hoods, as he doesn't want to be a hood, but joins in order to settle things with Zay. But
and this is actually where Rocket explains that we could have had a hero, but I guess fate had other plans, something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
While they try to negotiate, Carrot calls bullshit on him being a half gangster. And even though they won't be killing innocent people, he still has to do gang shit with the rest of them. And then we get our...
I don't even think it was about innocent. Was it about innocent people? Because he was just like, there's no killing, right?
No, he was about innocent people at the beginning. And then he was like, no killing at all. He escalated to no killing at all. And then Carrot was like, no. He was
no
like,
ways.
Piss off in that case. So basically the line was innocent people.
Yeah.
Then we get our freeze frame, the story of Knockout Ned. And instead of going back in time as we've done before, we're instead moving ahead of time. And we go from robbing gun stores to robbing shopping markets. Carrot ends up saving Ned's life and ends up breaking the no killing innocent people rule. And then before you know it, in the
which because that's what Rocket says, is that there was an exception to the rule.
Yes.
Because Carrot was like, okay, yeah, we're not killing innocent people like you were saying, but this person, even though they were innocent, almost killed you. So what do we do then? Am I gonna let him kill you?
Yeah. And then the exception to the rule ends up killing the whole rule in the end. And now, before you know it, Knockout Ned is not even hesitating to kill the bank man, the security guard at the bank.
Because he was returning the favor. Because that guy wanted to kill Carrot.
Yeah. And then
Knockout Ned kills him.
Then Carrot even looks back and Knockout Ned is gone. He's not even paying attention anymore. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, dude, he's so apathetic now. Like, he doesn't care anymore.
Exactly. And all this is happening so they can face Zayd. And with Ned's military experience, they have a huge advantage.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but Ned never misses, if I remember correctly.
Yeah,
like Knockout Ned, you can just give him one bullet, he will kill the person he's supposed to kill.
Yes, which is what he says on the bus stop. Yes, and the bus. Yes.
What did he say again?
That he's super accurate. When he was in the military, that he was super accurate and he's really good at that.
He was a marksman, yeah.
Yes. And then obviously now he has to use his experience for this. They break into a game of prayer, into a pre-game prayer, while in between you see watermark types of shootings before the real shooting starts. Rocket becomes a paper boy. Rocket actually gets to see his dream, which is watching photos being developed. We see that things have really fallen apart. People are signing up with frontal shots as they are, nice little, not profile, but head-on shots as they are welcome to the gang, and we see the bodies stacking up. We see the city falling apart. It is a full-on war as they start invading each other, throwing Molotovs and shooting until they enter the territory. And Ned is in just Carrot's gang has just been on the assault, and Ned is.
And also there was I don't know if we spoke about this in the first one, but there's so many characters in this movie that you actually forget about other people. But there was this guy who was a weapons dealer, who also had ties in with the dirty cop.
Yes.
If you remember correctly.
Dirty guy, yes.
Yeah. No, I will not. Maybe we're not there yet, but I just wanted to mention. Yeah.
Comes in later. They enter Ned's territory. Ned is in Zay's turf, and he stops when he's looking at a kid's body. When suddenly he's hit by a bullet, just as the police arrive. Someone hits him, even though everyone has run away. He still gets hit by a bullet, and he's almost confused by it. Police arrive. It's the end of that. Right. 1 hour, 35 minutes in, we see Rocket resting when we hear a news report of Knockout Ned. Ned is being interviewed and jailed. We see Zay smoking, which he had not been doing before. Like he's been very, don't get high on your own supply until now.
Right.
He's generally sold and never been a part of the actual process. Zay finds the camera that he found the camera that he fought Benny over, and he reflects upon it, which we
is pissed off that Knockout Ned still has one up on him.
Yeah.
Because
he's a star now.
Knockout Ned was the star anyway, low key.
Yeah.
Even though he didn't have any power whatsoever. Now that they're gangsters and they're evenly matched instead of like in terms of being infamous.
Yeah.
Knockout Ned is the one that's getting interviews and all of that. And he's like, nah, screw this. Exactly. I also need to be.
Exactly. Zay was in it for the money, the fame, and the power. Whereas this guy who didn't want any of that shit is out here just collecting it for free. Do you know what I mean?
For free, dog.
Falling on his lap. And he can't handle that. Yes.
You would swear this movie is about Knockout Ned. It's like at this point of the story.
You know what
this is like plot armor for days. Like, why is this guy?
You know what I think it is? It's world building at its finest. They've built this universe so well that there's this character that just kind of drops in, and when things move towards him, it makes sense. Yeah. It's like a sports story where like you're playing a sport and this guy shows up and he's suddenly talented. And you're like, fuck, this is unfair.
It's like the WWE, how they used to write their stories.
Yeah.
How John Cena comes in out of the blue and then he's like the golden boy, like ever. And then Brock Lesnar's like the main villain all of a sudden. Like,
Yeah, but if you don't understand the universe or what's happening, that feeling that you have of someone undermining you when they just come in, you won't be able to resonate with it. You won't be able to have empathy with it.
Right.
So they, in a way, Knockout Ned's storyline had to be this late in the storyline so you can understand the world of City of God. So that way when you suddenly understand why Knockout Ned winning like this is such a problem. We've had an hour of Zay to understand why Knockout Ned catching all these W's the way he is such an absolute problem for Zay. Like why he's uniquely angry at Knockout Ned. Like to the point he probably let Carrot go just to get
Dog, he doesn't even care about Carrot anymore. It's like I want to get rid of Knockout Ned.
Yeah, because he attacks everything that Zay is in a way. Yeah. Because he's the hard worker. Zay's put in the hustle. Right. You know what I mean? Right. He's put in a lot of people. This man put on 9 to 5 for years, ready to get his badge. And now this guy just slides in there. And we wouldn't be able to get that without the 1 hour of movie that came before.
Right.
That is world building at its finest.
And for me, there's something that is sort of like, I guess it's an unwritten rule in film or in fiction, where I'll give an example. I'll start with this one. Since Civil War, Tony Stark and the Winter Soldier have not spoken ever. Right? So it's like you can see that there was no way they would have made amends. Absolutely no way. Yeah. Kylo Ren and everybody else that was like Poe, Finn, and all of that. Kylo Ren does not meet any of those characters once he redeems himself at the end.
Yeah, he doesn't.
Knockout Ned and Benny, they never met before Benny died.
That is true. Or at least they didn't.
Benny, Knockout Ned only meets Lil Zay throughout the entire film.
Yes.
Which means that they took out the possibility of Benny and Knockout Ned being friends.
Oh yeah, and they might have been friends.
They might have been great friends.
And that would have I probably would have saved. And even if they weren't great friends, him not knowing that guy probably, if they had just met in front of Zay, that might have saved his life.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? Like that would have been Zay to hesitate.
So it's like you see that the writers were preventing that from happening, because if it had happened, this was not going to happen.
But also, don't forget, it's also as a consequence of normally when something frustrating happens for Zay, or there's something that he needs, something frustrating or something that he needs happens, that's when he bumps into Knockout Ned. Every single time. Whenever Zay has a problem, there's Knockout Ned.
It's like knockout Ned is an is a personification of an obstacle that he has to
It's like, I almost want to say it's like meat it's like meat showing up when you're hungry. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Something happens that would make Zay hungry. There's this piece of meat.
And it's not even by design. It just happens. It's not like the meat wants to come to you directly. You just happen to be in an area that has meat.
Exactly. And this man keeps collecting this knockout Ned sandwich. But now it's turned bad for him. Incredibly. Right. But yeah, anyway. Zay, frustrated, tries to get his own picture. He's still upset at seeing Ned's face in the front page. Mm-hmm. But no one can make the camera work. And then Tiago has an idea of who can take the photo. And then Rocket is brought in to take the photos. Surprisingly, Zay calls him Kid and has to ask for his name. After the first picture is taken, montage music starts playing, showing that something huge just happened. They want more photos and Rocket knows this is his chance. They are listening to him too. The roll ends, and surprisingly, he's given money and the camera. Zay says he can have it because it was given to him by Benny on that day anyway, which means even if he forgot his name, he does remember him.
That's the thing, you know, the way Lil Zay vaguely remembers Rocket. That's how my relationship with my teachers has been my entire primary school and high school. Who are you again? Aren't you the kid that's in my class? Like, you know what I mean? It's like, because you like, and it makes sense because Lil Zay deals with responsibility. 1,000 people on a daily basis. There's no way he's gonna remember this guy.
It's like that.
But every time Benny would say, no, this is what's little brother. Oh.
Do you remind me of that M. Bison quote, man? You know the one?
Yeah, for me it's just a Tuesday. Like,
yeah, for me it's a Tuesday.
It's just a Tuesday, dog. Like, honestly, like, yeah.
Anyway, Rob is thrilled at having the new camera. And while they are being developed at the news station, we see a woman grab the photos. As he's doing his work, he sees his photos on the front page, which makes him freak. As far as he's concerned, he's a dead man. And he goes back to the paper and absolutely loses his shit. She gives him cash, and the entire newsroom gets excited at seeing the photos and knowing that he lives in the city of God, and they want to make him a reporter. It's his dream come true if he can live through the day.
But he was petrified, dog.
They try to make him meet Jesus. Dog, what the hell, man? Yeah. And because, again, they live in a different universe. So for them, they don't understand the problem.
Yeah. I mean, they stay in the burbs, though.
Yeah. The police like them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Grocery stores like them. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
What's his name? Rocket's on the other side of that. They don't understand the problem. Fundamentally, they can't understand it.
Yeah. I mean, at this point, he's still a paper boy. He just delivers papers. Yeah. Like, he's at the bottom of the barrel, though.
Yeah. For them,
but because his mentor was there, and this woman is like trying to figure out why this guy is so petrified. Because, like you're saying, she has no idea what's going on. She's just like, calm down. Like, I just found these images. What's your name? Rocket. Okay, Rocket. Where are you from? You know? And then, yeah, he explains his whole situation. And he's like, but I cannot go back there. I cannot sleep there.
And they try to manipulate him, eh? Before they even, I cannot sleep there. They're like, no, man, you see. And they try to be slick with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because, I mean, he's their, dog, he is their number one. He is so important. And had Rocket actually seen how crucial he was at that point,
yeah,
he would have negotiated better.
Probably gotten himself a pay raise, living.
Dog, I'm telling you, he's probably gonna get a flat in the burbs, my G.
Dog, but because he's so fucking scared right now, dog.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. It was a whole other thing, man. I love it so much. That's all I'm gonna say.
And then they give him a camera, right?
Yeah, they give him a new camera. They give him a new camera. They give him an office camera.
Like a top of the range.
Yes.
Yeah.
On the camera that he has now, yes. he finally gives in and joins them and is offered a better camera. Yes, he's thrilled, but he's still screwed, and he doesn't know where he'll sleep. He gets his camera and suits up with it, and now he's on his way. And with Maria, the reporter lady, there too, he's gonna stay at her place. Yeah. They pass the time and then end up sleeping together, which caught me by surprise. But I was like, how old is this nigga? It tries. Yeah,
I also didn't see it coming, but I was glad that he actually broke his virginity. But also, here's the thing that I think it was so subtle, man. Because for me, this is one of the moments that always stand out, like, to this day. And mind you, I watched this movie maybe in like 2005 or something like that.
Yeah.
Or 4. This lady is a workaholic. We can both agree that she's a workaholic. Okay. Meaning she has no time to be dating. So Rocket being there at that moment
is that how
was
an
opportunity for her to also, you know.
Not fair enough. To me, I kind of saw it as still a part of the bribe. But no,
wow. I never even thought of that, dog. Like, in my entire look, dude, did you hear what I said? I said I saw this thing like in 2004. This is 2024. In 20 years, I've never thought that was part of the bribe.
No, but I get what you're saying. I think your way does make sense.
Yours also makes sense, dog. But yeah, I don't think she would.
Because it would explain why he's so mean about it at the end of the movie, right? Because I mean, like, he's so mean about it. Because he's like, yeah, dog. It's like, nigga, you haven't had better. What do you mean it's bad? Like, you know what I mean? Do you remember what I'm talking about? You know what I'm talking about?
Oh, yes. When he was talking to his best friend.
Yeah. Whose name is what again? What do you
mean?
Hey,
bro, we keep. You see, we are becoming like Ilze to the best friend now. I don't know, but it's kind of like these names that, because these people have weird as names, man.
Oh, yeah.
So if he's Rocket, he's probably like, I don't know, Firework or something. I have no idea, but something.
But Shorty.
Because I remember last time I'm the one that gave you his name, right?
Yeah. And even then I was like, are you sure?
But anyway.
But yes. Anyway,
yeah.
Anyway, the scene ends like that, right? So we transition to a cop sleeping with a nurse, and Ned is broken out of prison. We see Ned and
now that yeah, you see, now that was deliberate.
Yeah.
The nurse gave it up. She was paid to give it up to that guy.
And we didn't even see that part.
Yeah, so that Knockout Ned can leave. Yeah.
So we see Zay and the gun dealer, but Zay doesn't. Yeah, I'm saying we see Zay hanging with the gun dealer. We cut to Zay hanging out with the gun dealer, the fat guy you were talking about before. But Zay doesn't like what he's offering, and he takes.
Yeah, because he's benefiting from this war.
Yes. Oh yeah, he's been selling to both sides.
He's giving them arms from both sides.
Yeah. He's out being America. I'm giving money to Israel and I'm giving money to Palestine. I'm giving money to both sides. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, you said it. I didn't say it.
But yeah. Like, we'll be making deals with this country and making deals with this country as they shoot each other. And it's like, okay, that doesn't make sense. Do you know what I mean? But yeah. Yeah, so anyway, that's Zay takes everything and it leads to a disaster. Because it turns out this man is dealing with bigger boys than just him. He's not just a salesman.
Right.
Yeah. And because it's bigger money he's dealing with, the gun dealer then ends up getting killed by the cops. The scene first the gun dealer complains to the cops and then gets killed by the cops. Because it turns out he's been getting the guns from the cops.
Right.
Yes. The scene comes together as we last saw the kids and Rocket with the gun last time. The scene we'd seen at the start comes back into time, and we see the chicken again. And now we understand why Rocket is so terrified of meeting Zay. We understand why the kids have so many guns. Yes. We understand why the cops have finally drawn a line and why they're coming after him. We even potentially understand the risk to Zay and in that moment, and maybe his luck has run out. You know what I mean? Yeah, you're saying?
Yeah, and also like this is the least likely person to be in that gang is Tiago, dog. But at this point, he has become the new. Who's that guy that just got killed now?
Benny, the new Benny. Oh no, sorry.
No, not Benny.
Tuba 2.0.
Yeah, he's the new Tuba now.
Yeah, he is.
It's crazy how Tiago is in this entire film. Like I don't remember. I didn't remember him being that significant. I just remembered him being Angelique's girlfriend. I mean Angelique's boyfriend.
He was such a
at the beach. That's
Angelique got bored, dog. Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Angelique only cares about main characters, so he was such a side character. She moved to Rocket thingamajiggy. He was just the first. Was a side character.
Yep.
And then
definitely.
He became Benny's friend. Like, everyone is connected. It's kind of funny. I don't know if you remember this movie called Cloud Atlas.
That title does sound familiar.
It was made by the Wachowskis. It has Tom Hanks. It has Agent Smith. What's his name again?
Hugo Weaving.
It has Halle Berry at one point, I believe. And you get like 3 generations of life. You get cavemen, and it turns out the cavemen are in the future or something like that. Then you get a modern day time, and you get like an ancient medieval, a Shakespearean time. No, not Shakespearean, Victorian time. And like everyone's playing a character in each time frame. So like, yeah. And you kind of see them as these different things, and they all have like these connections together. City of God does connections better, man. Like that whole
bro.
Everything here is connected. Everyone.
You know how like the body has, a brain, eyes, a heart, like organs basically, and veins and whatever. Like these people wrote, and I like the fact that they call it City of God. Like for me, I think I told you before, I have an issue with movies or series which have the title of the main character's name, because basically what you're telling me is this person is not gonna die, like Naruto. But when you have like a bludgeon ball, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
For me, that is better, because like a City of God, because if City of God is as if it's the human body, you write it in such a way that we all see how all parts of the body are still connected to this one main body. So all these characters are still connected to this City of God. So it's like, for instance, Naruto should have been called Konoha. It would have made more sense for me to call it Konoha. But anyway, that's just what I think.
I would have said, okay, maybe not Konoha, maybe Hokage, because remember he's after the one position, which is Hokage, and the people that make the most decisions. So Hokage. I thought of
that as well, Hokage, even as I was saying this, but we didn't have enough characters that wanted to be the Hokage. If there was like 6 characters that wanted to be the Hokage throughout the story, that would have, for me, that would have.
Look at One Piece.
Given it weight.
One Piece. Well, I mean, so nowadays people all want to be Hokage, but then they die.
One Piece works for me.
But the title is what you'd be aiming for, right?
But I get you. Though.
No, I'm trying to think now.
Pardon?
I'm trying to think. What else? Well, besides, obviously they're all ninjas, so I guess technically Ninja Shinobi would have been a better name. You know what I mean? Because it's a story about Shinobi.
No, Shinobi would have been better, yeah.
Because it's all about my ninja way, right? Everyone has a ninja way, and it's the talk no jutsu. Hey, am I killing you right now? Are you okay, buddy?
No, not even. Sorry, I am a bit fluish. I think it's just coming back now.
Damn, sorry, bro. But I was saying, luckily we almost done.
Okay.
But yeah, because I think one could argue gangster. It's called gangster because everyone there is a gangster. So one could argue either Shinobi.
Yes. Yes. Like
My
The Wire.
Way. Because it's everyone's ninja way, right? And then everyone's if it was called My Ninja Way, right? Or The Ninja Way, and then everyone's different ninja ways intersect, and then Naruto's Tokunojutsu is what through everyone else.
See that would have been great. Or you call it Keki Genkai, bro. Keki Genkai, because almost everybody in that thing has a Keki Genkai.
The hell is a Keki Genkai? That's a exciting name, though. What's Keki Genkai again? Is it the little thing?
So Keki Genkai is basically an ability that you have that is passed down from generation to generation. It could be the Byakugan, the Sharingan.
Oh, bloodlines. The bloodline. What's it called again?
Yeah, Keki Genkai.
Why did I forget the name? I guess because the only time you really hear about it is Zabuza, and then from then onwards you kind of know what it is.
Also, when Kakashi explains it, Kakashi explains it during the Chunin exams. That's when he explains what Keki Genkai means.
Damn. Okay. Hot damn.
Yeah.
Anyway.
But like Knights of the Zodiac, like it's very vague.
I hear what you're saying. No, that's a fair point.
But anyway, I was just saying all of this just to say that
City of God, plus, in my opinion, City of God is the name of the character, is the main character.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
100%. It's like Gotham. I always say it's like Gotham, the series.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, definitely. Oh, God, Gotham. We'll get into that one day. One day we'll talk about that.
Yeah, no, that was a wasted... The first season was really good, but...
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then it got silly and yeah. Anyway, where were we? Yeah, the combination of things. Yes, we understand the cops have drawn the line, and why they're coming after him. We even understand that. Whereas before, you might have thought, okay, Zay has some main character energy. Maybe his luck has run out because the spell is basically broken. The cops that are leaving him alone are not about to leave him alone. All these things are basically wrong for Zay, and Ned is showing better main character energy than Zay is.
Who?
You know what I mean? Ned is showing better.
No. At this point, Ned for me is the main character. Like, okay, Ned and Rocket are like the main characters at this point. Like, honestly.
So he's showing more main character energy than actual Zay is at this point. So you can kind of get that there's a risk to him. So all of this stuff to build context has made perfect sense. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
Not a wasted scene. This is all come together to make perfect sense for us.
Oh my gosh. I think we missed a very important scene, unless you mentioned it and I didn't hear you. There was a kid not so long after Knockout Ned saves Carrot's life, who says he wants to join the gang.
It's not there yet, but yes. I know what you're about to talk about.
We're not there yet. No. I'm not talking about the big reveal. I'm talking about this kid joining the gang.
Okay.
Because here, this is the end, bro. Like where we are now is the end.
Yeah, but
him being recruited happened a while back.
Yes.
Yeah, we're saying we missed that point.
No, it's a part of the reveal. Unless you want a different kid, it should be the same kid.
No, it's the same kid, but I don't think it happened as part of the reveal, bro.
Massive flashback from him joining up in the gang all the way up to today.
Okay. All right. I guess my memory.
It's the same kid. See, just keep track of what you said. I think, if I'm correct, then it's the same kid.
All right.
Yeah. Anyway, the cops whip out their guns. Zay whips out his guns. The cops run away. Rocket takes a picture of this whole situation.
Yeah.
A gunshot changes everything. Turns out Ned is there. It's another invasion. Tiago is hit. Ned leaves a desperate kid who's been shot. That kid, and here we go. That kid being the kid who actually shot Ned in the beginning. And then we get a long flashback explaining that.
His name is Otto, by the way. His name is Otto.
Oh, Otto. There we go. Yes, Otto. Turns out that the grocery store, when he was saved his life, not the grocery store per se, But when Ned changed and became more brutal, when they go to the bank robbery, the security guard that Ned had shot was actually chilling with his son that day.
Yeah.
So his son saw his dad get gunned down right in front of him by a cold-blooded monster.
Yeah.
And cold-blooded monster is, of course, Ned. And then the son decided to avenge his father.
To Otto, that guy's not a hero at all. He doesn't care what anybody says or thinks.
Yeah.
That guy is
yeah.
the guy that killed his dad. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's like this whole other story that came out of nowhere.
Bro,
like what?
I remember the first time I saw this, dude, you know when you're like, damn it. You know, like when you're watching soccer and your team was winning.
Yeah.
Then, dude, like in like the 80th minute, the coach of the opposing team just decides to bring this bench warmer that has been there the entire time. And that guy just scores like 2 goals in 10 minutes.
Yeah. Or like,
and you guys lose.
Exactly. Or like,
it's an own goal.
Even worse. Imagine this. It's the last minute. It's an equal. It's like a tie, but you're ahead on points on what's the word? Aggregate. Yeah, Champions League. You're ahead on aggregate. But if they win, they get all the points. But if it's a tie, you're fine. You win because of aggregate. And then the goalkeeper comes up from the other side. You know what I mean? And then he scores. That's unbelievable.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's unbelievable. And and it's such a hit. Because it's not even like they have a moment to discuss anything. No. Because the kid is like, first of all, the kid is shot and is in shock. Do you know what I mean? It can barely speak.
He's about to die.
Yeah. He's not in a position to be like, oh no. And then Ned, who's supposed to be cold-blooded, but the reason he got shot in the first place was because he stopped on a kid.
He wanted to help him.
Yeah. And he can't handle the vision of a kid being hurt. And ironically, that's what gets him killed right now, because he could have walked away, finished the job, and then ran away. But he didn't.
Also, remember when they were giving Otto, like when they were recruiting Otto, Knockout Ned said, "Kid, no, you shouldn't be doing this. You should be at school or whatever."
Yeah. Meanwhile, turns out there's a whole other conversation.
No, it's not that he wanted to just join the gang. Because if you remember, before the Otto, Rocket was explaining that kids were just making up stories so that they can just join the gangs for no reason. So it just seems like Otto just wanted to be cool and wanted to join the gang for no reason. Only to find out, Baba.
Yep, and he dies so Game of Thrones. Because in a lot of movies, when a main character dies like this, you expect drama. No.
Yeah. No.
He tries to help this kid shoots him, and then the kid bleeds out. So ironically, the kid basically kills himself by not accepting help. And then he'd rather himself die.
I remember I was in high school, and this other friend of ours was explaining Saving Private Ryan. But he was calling Tom Hanks Nicolas Cage, and he was talking about this entire movie, dog, and was talking, and dog, we were interested, and it was like, then Nicolas Cage gets shot. I'm like, wait, who shoots him? He's like, dog, an extra, dog. I was like, what, dog? I was surprised, like I could not believe, because when he was explaining this entire movie, Nicolas Cage seemed invincible.
Yeah.
And then when he said an extra, I was like, this is so creative. So when I saw this, I was like, oh, dog, for real, this kid is an extra in this entire thing.
Oh, yeah.
It's just a speck, right, in this entire film, but it's significant.
It's enough to get him out. It's enough to get him knocked. It's enough to get the main. That's what it takes. What is it? Who says it again? Someone once, some character, that was a catchphrase. 1 bullet. That's all it takes. One bullet.
No, it was Andy Lenogabu in Generations.
Is it Generations?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Because so Andy Lenogabu had kidnapped Julia Montaigne, and Julia was trying to escape.
Yeah.
I only need 1 bullet. Just 1, and you're gone.
Hey,
am I gone?
Yeah, I couldn't hear anything there. You skipped, that whole thing skipped basically.
Oh, Flip, can you hear me now?
I can hear you now, yes.
Oh, flip. I was just saying, no, Julia Mutete was trying to escape, and then Andile Nogapo was like, dog, if you leave now, it only takes one bullet to take you out. Just one. Yeah, that's where that comes from. Unless if you're referring to Curse of the Black Pearl. Because that's where also like who's this? Jack Sparrow just needed one bullet to take out Barboza.
I think Generations might be. Ironically, it does feel like it was a local thing. Because I know.
No, trust me. That one bullet was an iconic scene, dog.
It was Are you sure?
I'm 100% sure, bro.
There was another
100.
one. There was another one. But anyway, because I remember, like, okay, I know Good is Nice had the nigga with the. No, it wasn't Velapi. Velapi had the guy with the bat, where he was like, no, was that
No.
Velapi?
No, that was Good is Nice. Like Pash.
Good is Nice, yes. But
yeah, it was a Knopkiri, I think. It was not was it a bat or was it a Knopkiri?
It was an axe. It was an axe without the head. I remember that because I know that shape. That's an axe. But they took the metal part of the axe and then left the stick.
Right. It was not an axle, right? It was an axe.
It was an axe handle without the metal part.
Okay.
Watch it again. That's the shape of an axe. I don't know why I know that so well, but I'm telling you. But anyway.
No, I believe you.
Yeah. But yeah. Where were we? What movie were you talking about?
We're just talking about Knockout Ned's death, like how it just took
how a small character did, yes.
Yeah. You know, it's kind of like how in Scarface, what's that guy? What's his name again? Frank, you know? No, not Frank.
The best friend?
I forgot Scarface's name in that thing.
Tony Montana.
Oh, Tony Montana.
Yeah, but he
was killed by extras, bro. He was not killed by Frank himself.
Name a face.
He was killed by extras.
That came up from behind him, yeah.
It was just
faceless.
I'm sure even in the credits it's like guy 1, guy 2.
Yeah.
Those are the people that killed him.
Shot him. I agree with you. 100%.
Yeah.
That's hilarious, but yes. 100%.
Yep.
Yeah. But yeah. Anyway, I love stuff like that because sometimes, don't get me wrong, sometimes when a character just dies, it feels like garbage.
Yeah. Yeah, because here there was a risk because you expected Knockout Net to kill Lil Zay or Lil Zay to kill Knockout Net. That's how you thought this was gonna go.
Mm-hmm. But remember, this is a movie about the city, not about these individuals. They're not the actual main characters.
Yes.
Which is brilliant.
It's kind of like New Jack City.
Ah, yes. There's another name. Yes.
You remember in New Jack City? I don't know how you felt when you watched it, but when I thought Ice-T was going to kill Wesley Snipes, though. This entire time, I thought Ice-T was eventually going to kill Wesley Snipes. Guess who kills Wesley Snipes, though?
I forgot.
That old man, dog.
Ah, yes.
You see, so it's like
long time, but yes.
And what is it called? It's called New Jack City.
Yeah. Yeah, because it's about New Jack City. It's not about thingamajiggy. Yes.
It's not about well, it's kind of like it is it's kind of like he's the little Zay of New Jack City.
New Jack City, yes.
Yes.
And I know that came before this movie, but at the same time, yeah.
It knocks New Jack City out of the park, Chief.
Yes, it does. It's a masterpiece.
Yeah.
So anyway, things fall apart as both Ned and Carrot are arrested. Rocket gives chase in a great overhead, which is so well set up because every location that he runs through is a location we've seen in the storyline. Every place he runs through, yes.
You mean Rocket?
Yes, Rocket. When Rocket takes off running. It's locations we've seen before. It's very clever to remind you this is about the city, bro. This is about the city.
Right.
It's for real. And it gives you a sense of direction. Anyway, the cop car stops early. The cops are there for their revenge. Only not. Turns out they just want the money that they stole from that gunman. And they take this man's money and they let him go. But
I think you forgot to mention that they also arrested Carrot.
Yes, nice. Okay, yeah. Ned and
So the arrest,
my mistake.
the arrest,
Ned.
the arrest Carrot.
Yeah, Carrot and Zay. But then they keep Carrot.
Yeah, okay, because how they arrest Zay is he was running with he was in like a truck with
They shot Thiago. The
Thiago.
truck crashed because Thiago was driving, and then he
Yeah.
was kind of stuck. And before anyone could get to him, the cops showed up.
Yeah.
And then Carrot is basically half his gang is gone, so he gets caught. Yes. Yeah. So now they're in the car. Zay gets let go. They take his money, and then the little runs show up.
Mm-hmm.
And they find Zay vulnerable, and like fucking demons or wolves, I don't even know what to say. They decide to finish him right there, surrounding him. They all open fire, and with dozens upon dozens of shots, the very guns he'd given the kids are being used against him.
Yeah.
It sees the kids declare that
because those kids never liked him.
Oh yeah. And
also they're getting their revenge because he killed one of them. And shot one of them in the foot.
Oh no, definitely. I would even argue though that because it's definitely the same kids, right? Like the taller kid is basically like the gang leader who should have caught in the first place.
He's basically the new Lil Zay now. Yeah.
I also think there's an element of wolvery almost. I don't want to say wolves, but I don't want to go so far as say demons, where it's like you've got this pet, right? And so long as you feed it, so long as you're stronger than the pet, it won't eat you. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
I can understand the revenge angle, right? Which I think is a fair angle. But I also think there's also an element of like Carrot, for example, didn't control the kids, right?
Yeah.
Which is why they were a problem.
Yeah.
And I think the reason that Carrot didn't control them is because he couldn't. I think the kids were out of control.
Yeah, they were.
I think Zay basically forced control out of them. But as soon as he was weaker than the kids, like even if he hadn't shot them, I think they still would have done that. I think they still would have. There was no loyalty there.
That's what I'm saying. They are the new Lil Zay. Because if you remember, Lil Zay when he was young, when he was a kid, he was uncontrollable though.
Oh yeah. It was him liking Shaggy. That was the only reason Shaggy wasn't killed.
Yes.
Otherwise,
it's as if it's kind of like a Harry Potter story because Harry Potter loved the Weasleys. Like he really just loved the Weasleys. It doesn't matter which Weasley he was with, whether it was the mom, whether it was the dad, whether it was because there's moments in the movie where he has moments with all of the Weasleys, dog, and that's a huge ass family.
Oh yeah.
Right. Even the twins at a point. So it's like with Lil Zay, it's like that Shaggy's family.
Mm-hmm.
Bro, I'm loyal to that family no matter what. So I don't know what they did to him or what they did for him.
Exactly.
But, yeah.
Whereas unlike Harry, right? Like Harry would be like, there's a sense of goodness to him. Zay doesn't give a shit about that. So
he's the opposite. Yeah.
Yes. So even though he has that element of loyalty and love, if that were to ever so much as diminish, like Harry, he has goodness and love. Whereas Zay has, if this love isn't there, you're a dead man. That love is the only thing that's there. Otherwise, I'm killing niggas.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I feel like that's the difference that really stands out for Zay. And these kids are even worse. Yeah. They don't have love in the first place. They just have, I'm not killing you yet.
Yeah, because they are each other's bennies, those kids, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, for them, they would love to kill you today, but then it's just bad luck that they're not.
Right.
They're not. Yeah. And then, anyway, he gets annihilated. And Rocket sees them declare the business and they run off from joy. Rocket, unable to just let go, rushes to see Zay's body and takes the last picture. The intensity of the atmosphere comes to a... Oh, by the way, while this has been happening, right, there's just been this of music. It's been intense.
Intensity, yeah.
Beautiful. And then suddenly...
there was a point even when because he was like at the last location where Lil Zay gets shot. So someone could have seen him. I think it was either Lil Zay or the cops. But he sort of like hid himself for a bit and then went back in.
Was the cop. But yeah, ducks at the last
minute. The dirty cop, right?
Yes.
The one who killed the arms dealer.
Exactly. While this man's trying to take pictures and everything. Exactly. And then as soon as the music stops, it tells you that it's done. And like it's like shooting the band or something. But anyway, the music stops and that ends the era. That ends everything. We see him looking at the photos he's taken, going over what it all means and how he secured himself a potential job and how the police corruption could put him in award-winning territory. Ironically, it doesn't get him the job. Just an internship.
Just an intern, though.
Yep, which is fine. I feel if it wasn't from City of God, that would have been a guaranteed job, but whatever. It's stuff he has to deal with, I'm sure. But he's still happy.
What did you say? Sorry?
I'm saying if he wasn't from City of God, it would have been a lot more than an internship, I think. I think that's still an element. I think that's still an element of class. I think there's still classism impacting him.
Yeah, because I mean, what does he need to do to get?
Yeah, he's already proved himself.
Yeah,
what could be more than this? Do you know what I mean?
What could be more dangerous than dodging bullets while taking photos?
Yeah, but he's still happy with it because what?
Or maybe it's because Lil Zay is dead, and since Lil Zay is dead and Knockout Ned is dead and Carrot is dead.
Yeah.
Which photos is it gonna take now?
Well, true enough. I mean, do they know that though? They don't know
They did because they wrote the article.
True, but they don't know the connections of the gangs. But I know, fair enough though. That's a fair argument.
I hear you though. Yeah, you also make a fair argument as well.
Yeah, so kind of we'll have to see. But anyway, yeah. So he's still happy though. Either way, and his friends. And he walks away with his friend after dissing the reporter chick, like, the sex is mediocre or some shit like that. And I'm like, that felt random, but okay. What does that even mean, bro? Last time
I don't even know what he's talking about because that was his first time.
Yeah, you're a fucking
but that's the thing about guys. Guys like sounding cool even when it's unnecessary.
Yeah, okay.
I don't think he meant that ish, dog.
Right? That was my thought as well.
No, he was just saying that to sound cool.
Yeah.
Because there's no way.
First of all, number one, you just broke your V card. Shut the hell up, dog.
Why would you mention this in the story if it was mediocre? Why would you mention it?
Exactly.
Yeah, come on.
But anyway, despite that, they walk away and the camera does a classic switch up where it just stays there. And the focus moves to the Rants who are planning for their big future. Guns in all their hands. The last words are Rocket giving up his name for his actual name. And then we see the names of all the faces and some of the actors tied to real people's faces.
Wait, before you get there.
Oh yeah.
The Runs are planning to kill everybody that was treating them like crap.
Yes, that's a good point, yes.
That's why this entire time I was telling you that the fact that Rocket gave them weed
is what very much saved his life. Yeah,
saved his life. Yeah. Anyway, please continue.
Sorry.
Yeah, we actually see the real Knockout Ned. We see the real Benny.
Yes.
We see the real Lil Zay.
Yep, and there's actual interviews of them saying the exact same words they said.
Yeah.
And I think it hits you like a ton of bricks because this feels like a real fantasy. Like you're like, this is the most intricate, almost realistic, and then they're like real people saying real words, and you're like,
yeah. Because the guy that they showed us footage of Knockout Ned actually saying, yeah, with him when he does whatever he does, it's fine, but with me, everybody hates me or whatever he was saying.
Yeah,
it's like damn.
No, it was some gangster shit. Oh yeah. And that's the end of the movie. Okay. Yeah. Let me start off by saying this is a legitimate masterpiece. I have very few words to explain this. It is a masterpiece of show and tell. Show and tell. It does both. This movie is so alive. The world is so completely alive that even without that last scene, you would believe the story would carry on without you. Because with the way camera picks up and then carries on with the runs, you're like, oh well, here we go, just another day in the city of God. You know what I mean? It is an interconnected universe that streams into each other so perfectly, and it uses every tool it has in the book to keep things moving with an incredible flow. I almost feel that this movie wasn't as revolutionary as it should have been. Like, they should have been even more crazy for it. But I also understand that you could never make this movie today, even if you tried. This movie does not waste fat. The narration should have been a mistake, but it was done perfectly.
Right.
This is a perfect film, a 10 out of 10.
This is your first 10 out of 10. This is your first 10 out of 10. Yeah, man. I also give it a 10 out of 10. That's why I recommended it. Like I said, this is one of my favorite movies of all time. It truly captivated me. Has comedy, has very intense scenes. There's a lot of violence, but at the same time, there's a lot of love, a lot of hate, a lot of romance. Like there's a lot of elements to it. It gives you almost everything that you need as a viewer. You know, like it goes to so many different genres. In one film, you have different main characters, and funny enough, these main characters are not even friends. They are just from opposite sides of the city of God. You would almost even think that there's a north, south, west, east character in this entire city that is significant, you know. So, and how there's like backstory upon backstory of characters. Look, this thing could have easily been a series if it was dragged a bit more. Like that's how great it works. And like it could have been, yeah, it could have easily been like a 10 episode Netflix thing.
Yeah.
So no, shout out to all these actors, man. They did a brilliant job. I wouldn't take out anything. I wouldn't add anything. I think it was perfectly done. Yeah, those are my thoughts, man. 10 out of 10. And honestly speaking, I think, yeah, there's two things I wanted us to talk about. Your favorite character, your favorite actor. And then, yeah, you already gave your rating. Who's your favorite character, and then who's your favorite actor? Yeah.
God damn, that's a difficult one, because I think I do like Knockout Ned. I think he is probably the best character. I think the best actor is Lil Zay, no question, no doubt.
Yeah.
Best actor is Lil Zay, but my favorite character, like just for his, it's not even his evolution, it's his devolution. You know, the devolution of a character.
It's crazy, right? Because it's like he's the anti-hero's journey.
Yes. And it's happening while we're watching actual heroes' journeys. And we get as much of the anti-hero's journey as we do the hero's journey. And it's incredible. Absolutely bonkers how they did this.
That's actually good. To me, I would say it has to be a tie between Benny and Knockout Ned. Because I feel like the death of Benny is the birth of Knockout Ned. That's how I see it.
Yeah, no, definitely. It is. Because I would say a meaningful character is Benny. Definitely. He's the most meaningful character in the show.
Right.
Because he's with Zay in everything. Yeah. So he's not an angel, number one. He's not an angel, number one. He's not a good person.
No.
He's actually just as bad as everyone else.
Yeah.
We never see him actually hurt people.
Yes.
And I think that's the writers being tricky with us. Do you know what I mean?
It's because we are witnessing this story from Rocket's point of view.
Yes.
And this was told from Blackie's point of view? Oh, no, not even Blackie.
Hell, probably Zay's point of view.
If this was told from Zay's point of view, Benny was going to be as bad as he is, though.
Because remember, Benny is helping this man do heists in the beginning when they're like stealing, when they rob that like shoe shining thing.
Yes.
Benny's involved. He's not just watching from a distance. He's involved.
Because I remember there was a point where I don't remember, one of them was running, like there was someone who was running away. And Benny was like shooting in the air.
Yes.
If you remember.
I do remember that. There's 2 times. I think that the other time is when he's in the room and he's making a joke after he
Yeah.
basically stole Thingamajiggy's ghost.
Yes, but not that time. Not that time.
Okay,
The first time when I think they start showing them as adults.
Yes, when the montage, after the montage, I believe.
Yes.
In the party, I believe, actually, or before the party, but in that time period, yes.
In that time period, yes.
Yeah, there's actual gangster in him, but it's done in such a way that, from the perspective where people can't almost understand it, because again, Malcolm X or Martin Luther King, do you know what I mean? Like, you get the nicer version, or the completely unnice version.
Yeah, and just to give people please don't think that Malcolm X was Lil Zay. He's just I hope people understand this, because Malcolm X was anything but yeah.
Okay, fine. Xavier or Magneto. You either get Xavier or you get Magneto. Those are your choices.
No, I get you, and I understand you, but I don't know if everybody would understand.
Didn't, but yeah.
Yeah. All right. Is there anything else you want to say before we shut it on?
Actually, no. I hope you enjoyed this video, because this is where my new series was birthed. Because I've got an idea and I'm going to make it. I'm either going to call it 7 and up or 6 and up. I'm still deciding. Because if I do 6 and up, then I can include Lord of the Rings in the series. I want us to start doing total reviews of movie series that are like 6 and up or 7 and up. I'm still deciding.
Oh,
I think that could be our next video. I'll find out which complete series you've watched. I'm assuming, obviously, you've watched all Marvel movies, which is funny because that's more than me. But we'll figure it out.
Yeah, I've seen Marvel movies. Yeah, but we'll talk about it offline.
Yeah. So while you've witnessed the beginning of a new show.
Yeah, because he's been trying to do a whole thing by himself for a while. So yeah. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for checking us out. We truly appreciate it. If you've been watching up to this point and you're new, guess what? We have more content. We have like around 50-something episodes of African Frame podcast. I think by now we've been doing this for a year. So Happy New Year to us. And we truly appreciate you guys. Hopefully we can get other people to come and join and dissect films with us. If you do have some suggestions, please let us know in the comments. Thank you once again. We shall see you guys on the next one. Cheers.
Cool, man.